welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. You guys saw the thumbnail. Is our future obese, complacent, and androgynous? Is it? Before we get into that, let's go over some of the things that have been chattering all over, social media. Let's come straight out the gates, okay? With homie that was eating people. Figuratively and literally. Yes, I'm talking about the Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix. Have we all watched that? How are we feeling about Mr. Dahmer? I think it's interesting. The story is hella old, okay? As you guys know, Jeffrey Dahmer is hella old. The story is hella old. But like with everything else that's old, it takes on a new life form on social media in our current environment. So we have a man who was not only a serial killer, but also a cannibal, right? He was eating his victims because he wanted his victims to stay with him. So in his mind, he had to eat a couple of body parts, right? He usually lured people from the LGBTQIA, Black and white and Native. I think he was an equal opportunity, I feel, serial killer, right? A lot of people are saying that he targeted poor neighborhoods because nobody would give a damn if a Black or brown person goes missing in the ghetto, right? And we all know that to be true, right? Let's call a spade a spade. We know that to be true. Now, did he literally move into the ghetto so he could eat the Black and brown and nobody give a damn? Or was that all he could afford? If you watch the Netflix series, you know the man was, he was to and fro, couch surfing. Nobody wanted him. He would get a job and then get fired. So he wasn't exactly a man of means or money. So I would think the only place he could afford is probably the ghetto. Now, some people say he was there on purpose so he could prey on the Black and the brown and nobody would give a damn. But when you watch the series, he couldn't really afford much else, right? I don't know. Some would say he was white trash. Why didn't he live in a white trash neighborhood? I don't know, right? So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. It's taken on a new life form. And like with everything else, like I just said, it becomes a joke, right? The memes get to going, the jokes get to going. People online start saying they would have went with him, right? Unfortunately for the families of these victims, it's not funny to them. It is not funny to them. Some of them are upset because they feel like Netflix should have let them in on this series, should have told them, hey, listen, I'm going to do a series and your victim relative is going to be in the series. Their story is going to be in the series, but we don't need you around. So do you think that they had to ask for permission if they got the rights to the story? Should they have contacted each and every relative like, hey, your dead relative is going to be depicted in this series, yay or nay? How do you feel? Do you think Hollywood owes them that, right? It's Hollywood. I don't know why people continue to think that Hollywood is in the business of feelings and emotions. It is not. It is a money business. It is not a halfway house. It is not a soup kitchen. It is not ran by Mother Teresa. May she rest in peace. It is a money business. So I don't know why we saw this with the Woman King too. Like, oh, they're not telling our stories correctly, right? It is a business. And when you own the house always wins. Okay, it's no different than if I go to your home and say, hey, stop buying that juice, buy this juice because I like that juice. You would look at me like I was crazy. Why? Because you own your house, hopefully, some of you, or your apartment, right? And I don't belong there. I am a visitor. You owe me nothing. So similarly, I think that's how Hollywood is. It is their house. It is their money. They get to say what the hell happens. But do you think they should have got a courtesy call? Do you think the victim's family should have got a courtesy call? Like, hey, we're going to talk about your dead relatives and we're going to bank, we're going to hit big bank on Netflix with this Dahmer series. Do you care? Right? Should they have done that? I don't think Hollywood is in that business. They're in the business of money. And if they bought the rights to that story, it is what the fuck it is, right? I'm watching it. I think I'm up to episode 6. I'm not up to the sandwich yet. Okay. There's this big episode about the sandwich. I didn't get up to the sandwich yet. I'm not there. But I will tell you, prepare to watch it. It's very, very dark. It's a very, very dark series. You will feel icky after watching it. The actor is doing a great job. The actor playing Jeffrey Dahmer is doing an excellent job because he makes me feel filthy. And I think that's some good freaking acting. Okay, doing a great job. But you're gonna feel dirty after. You're gonna feel disgusted. Jeffrey Dahmer is a very dark person. He's dead now. But the series, they're doing great. The series, because it's very dark, it's icky, it's creepy, it's scary, right? And you get to see how dismissive people were of these black and brown boys. Some of them were boys, teenagers, 14 years old, that went missing. They were very dismissive, per usual. White cops in a black neighborhood are like, he'll come back eventually. Oh, he was gay, who cares? Oh, he's been missing before, who cares, right? You get to see that in the Jeffrey Dahmer series. But we're not shocked by that. We live it. If you're black or brown in this country, you already know how biased the system is. We don't have to go down that road. We know what it is, right? So, for people that are acting surprised, like, oh my God, the cops didn't even care. Well, the white cops in our neighborhoods have never cared. So it surprises me every time you guys act surprised. But it's whatever, you know what I mean? Most humans are cattle, they're on a hamster wheel, and they like talking about the same shit all the fucking time and complaining about the same shit all the fucking time. That is how humans are. It's interesting how now so many people are making light of it, but I think that's the environment of social media, where it could be a bloody murder and somebody will find a meme or a way to make it funny, and they're not even considering the families of the victims. They don't give a damn. They just want that laugh, right? We've seen that with Trayvon Martin's murder. We've seen that with Kobe Bryant's death. Now we're seeing it with Jeffrey Dahmer's victims. Everything is funny online. And if you don't think it's funny along with them, there's something wrong with you. You should be able to laugh, chuckle, ha, ha, at every tragedy on the planet. I think the only way that hits home is when it hits home. If one of these people lose somebody violently or in a horrible way, and then they see somebody else making a joke about it, they're like, oh, wow, that shit's not funny, right? So it's funny until it's you, right? But, we have to, if you don't have tough skin by now, going into 2023, you better grow some, because that's how, the new world order is. Everything is funny, no matter how tragic it is. And you better find it funny, or it's not that serious. It's just Facebook, right? It's not that serious. It's just YouTube. So that's the world we're in. That's what I'm telling you. As a safety precaution, anything you hold dear to you, whether it's a romantic relationship, your child, your sickness, if you're sick, don't post it, because you will get tore the fuck up. And not everybody is built for it. Not everybody is built for it. But I've seen a lot of people post tragedies and people make fun of it. And they're like, how could you do that to me? Well, you're putting it out in the world, and the world is more cruel than it ever was, I feel. Right? It's more cruel than it ever was. A lot of people are projecting on these machines. A lot of people are miserable and angry and broke and miserable, and they want you to feel that. So they're just waiting for any chink in your armor. I say, don't give it to them. Keep your precious things to yourself. So it's interesting, the turn that the Jeffrey Dahmer story is taking. But it's like anything else nowadays. I remember when the story first broke, right? Many moons ago. It was horrific. It was surreal. I mean, it was straight out of a movie. This dude was killing people, chopping off their body parts, posing them, taking pictures of them, putting them in his sandwich, cutting off penises and freezing them in the freezer, putting the dead bodies in his bed and sleeping, cuddling with the dead bodies, because he didn't like when people left him, right? So it was pretty horrific, all right? Probably one of the worst serial killers we've all seen to date. But now it's a joke. Now it's a meme. Fuck the victims that got chopped up. Fuck the victims that were tortured. Fuck the victims that got their arms and dicks cut off. Who cares? It's a meme now in 2022. Who cares? It's all funny. Forget the mothers of those men that were murdered. Forget the mothers and relatives and brothers and fathers of those 14-year-old boys that were murdered. It's a joke now. Ha ha. Right? That's the world that we live in. So, have you guys watched the Jeffrey Dahmer series, and what do you think about it? Some people or taking it to the extreme. I see people online saying, don't watch it, it's letting demons into your home. You know, they're prayed up or hella scared of demons. I don't know why, because ain't nobody failed them more than the Lord. But you know, they're hella afraid of demons, and they're saying don't even watch it because it lets demons into your living room. Meanwhile, they're living with a whole fucking demon doing them dirty, but whatever, that's a whole other show. But apparently now the religious folk are saying don't even watch it because it's letting demons, the Jeffrey Dahmer demon, into your home. I saw one woman say she watched the series and then went to sleep, had a nightmare. She smelled and saw the demons in her home. Whatever. I don't know. It wasn't that serious to me. It's just a very dark series and it's creepy. Again, the actor is doing an excellent job portraying Dahmer. What do you think about that? Have you seen it? Will you seen it? Are you afraid of the demons that are going to be in, you know, at your bedside after you watch it? Yo no sé. Moving on, before we get to the topic of the obesity, complacency, and androgynous models that are popping up everywhere along with people. Before we get into that, yeah, that Jeffrey Dahmer thing is something. It's something special. I don't know. What's up, Veganista? What's up, Danny? I'm going to drop the link. It's Friday night. You know, I like doing Friday night easy peasy and letting everybody come up. And, you know, it's just a hangout night, right? Nothing serious. You can come up and argue or add or take away whatever you'd like. We're gonna get hot and heavy in a minute. I dropped the link if you guys want to come up right away. Thank you, Black Rose. Thank you so much. Yeah, No Saint made a great point. There was an Asian boy who escaped Jeffrey Dahmer, and the cops took him back. It was interesting to watch that scene because the boy was obviously very young. He had people in the neighborhoods telling the cops, this is a kid. This looks like a kid. The cops was like, no, that was just Jeffrey Dahmer's boyfriend. It's taken care of. And Jeffrey Dahmer ended up murdering that child who was 14 years old. So the story, when you watch it, is just such gross negligence of people in the neighborhoods that some of us come from. Just gross negligence. Like cops was like, we don't give a fuck what you gay poor people are doing in those neighborhoods. Whatever, kill each other, eat each other, we don't care. Not to mention, Jeffrey Dahmer had the cover of being a white man. So when a white man is in the ghetto, right, he's above all the blacks and the browns, right? So when the cops come and they see this white guy, like, hey, I'm gay, this is my boyfriend, the cops is like, okay, whatever, white guy, we're out of here, right? Of course, the outcome would have been different had he not been white. But again, let's not be redundant. Let's not be redundant. Haran, yeah, a lot of people didn't know about Dahmer, but I'm not surprised because, I mean, we're all, here's the thing, on social media, it's a free-for-all of generations. Right? That's why I excuse people that don't know about Jeffrey Dahmer, because it is a smorgasbord of all generations. It's the only place ugly people can hang out with hot people, young teenagers can hang out with old people can hang out with the middle age. Like, social media is a fucking free-for-all. There are no sectors where it's like all the old people hang out from, 3 to 4 on Saturday afternoon, and the teenagers hang out Friday night from 6 to 7. It is everybody's here. Everybody's here, and everybody's here at the same fucking time. So for us, we know Jeffrey Dahmer, but there are a lot of people that are much younger than us that are like, who the fuck is Jeffrey Dahmer, right? So I get people not knowing who the fuck he is, right? I totally get it. Joanna, yes, of course, I am talking about obesity tonight. I just want to get through what's been going on, what's been, the chitter chatter over the week. I like touching on that before I get into the spicy. And I also dropped the link for anybody that wants to come up. Coolio, rest in peace, Coolio, dead at 59 years old. Okay. That's another thing that was made light of. Some people were online saying, oh, ain't nobody listened to Coolio since Gangsta's Paradise and blah, blah. I didn't think it was necessary to be a fan of Coolio to wish him a peaceful journey on to the next life, whatever that may or may not be, right? He was still a part of pop culture. So rest in peace to Coolio at 59. I wanted to talk to you gentlemen really quickly. Yes, dead at 59. If you notice the past couple of months during the, way before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and even after, a lot of celebs are dropping dead. A lot of our friends are dropping dead. And I wanted to give you some statistics that may surprise you, for you gentlemen, okay? The life expectancy in the United States for Black men is early 70s. Did you hear what I said? The life expectancy for Black men in the United States of America is 70s. Latin men, early 80s. Okay? So Black men, life expectancy, mid 70s, early 70s, Latin men, early 80s. So when you think about that, and you think about the age you are now, you don't have a lot of fucking time when you think about it, right? People say life is short. It fucking is. But it's even shorter depending on how you live, what you drink, what you eat. You know that, right? I'm preaching to the choirs. But when I read that life expectancy, it was jarring, right? Because a lot of us are in our 40s, some of us in our 50s. I got a couple cats in here, they're in their 30s, right? So they have more time. But one of my favorite sayings that I coined is the biggest mistake people make is thinking they have time, right? All of us are always putting off shit for tomorrow, for next week. I'll get to it, right? It's the biggest mistake you make, thinking that you have time. You just don't know. But as we see, a lot of these celebrities that are dying are in their 50s, 60s, right? We don't really hear these guys dying in their 70s. They're all like in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So it's something to think about. When I got these stats, I wrote them down because I was like, shit, life expectancy in the US, mid 70s, right? Black men, early 70s. Latin men, early 80s. Okay? That's not a lot of time, right? So if you motherfuckers are running around on social media arguing with people that you're never going to meet, that you're never going to make money with, that you're not related to, you're a fucking asshole. Because there's so much more important things to do with your life. You don't have a lot of time. I got the notes for you. You don't have a lot of time. You got a couple decades left, and it's going to go like that. We're going into 2023 in a couple months, baby. Okay? So you shouldn't be so concerned about, people who are hitting the wall or don't have money or not where you think they should be or don't know how to do relationships, because this social media shit will tear you a new asshole. And before you know it, you're in a hospital bed wondering where the time went. So be mindful of that. We got a couple decades left on this bitch, okay? You could do what you want with that information. You could do nothing with it, right? Up to you. Yeah. But those stats, they really threw me off. So in lighter news, and I do mean lights, remember Rachel Dolezal? We all remember Rachel Dolezal. Yes, we do. Rachel Dolezal got an OnlyFans. If you guys are interested in seeing her scantily clad or damn near naked, Rachel Dolezal has an OnlyFans. After her transracial scandal, she got fucked up pretty bad. She was on welfare. She was braiding hair to make money. But now sister girl said, I'm going to sell ass like everybody else. And I'm sure she's getting money because there's a perv for everything you could think of. So if you want to see sister Rachel Dolezal, she has an OnlyFans now. And I got to say, I've seen a couple pictures. I was going to get one for y'all, but I was like, oh, whatever. I've seen a couple pictures. She doesn't look half bad. She does. I cannot lie. She doesn't look half bad. It even looks like she works out. So more power to the trans Black woman, the first one that actually went viral. There are many more after that. I've seen trans Latinas. I've seen trans white. I mean, look at little Kim. That's a trans white motherfucker, okay? Trans Black. Everybody's, there's going to be a lot more trans that's coming in our future, right? Especially going into the topic I'm about to address. So if you guys didn't hear, 50 Cent is suing this woman called Angela Kogan. She's Russian. And she owns a couple of spas, makeover spas. And 50 Cent is suing her for insinuating that he got dick enlargement. Yeah. Because in her spas, she has one in Vegas, one in Miami. In her spas, one of her treatments is called a daddy do-over. They have the mommy makeover. They have the daddy do-over. And what's the daddy do-over? Daddy do-over is the guys with the dad bods who want to get fake abs sculpted, and what they do is they suck the fat out of their belly and inject it in their dicks, so their dicks have more girth. Now, it doesn't give you length, can't help you with that, fellas, sorry, but it does give you more width, right? So you'll have a fatter dick if that is what you want if you go to one of these spas, and it's becoming more and more popular. According to this woman who's being sued by 50 Cent, it's 50%, her customers are 50% women and 50% men. So there are a lot of men going in there, deciding, I'm not going to fucking work out. I want some fake abs and I want a fatter dick. And that is what they're doing. So what had happened was she saw 50 Cent somewhere. She took a picture with him, posted it on her social media. And under that picture, she proceeded to write a caption of all her services, right? One being the dick fattening. So it made it look like 50 Cent went to her spa to get his dick fatter, right? So 50 is suing, and he's probably going to win because, she's using his picture. Not anymore. All the pictures are gone, of course, because now there's a lawsuit looming, right? So you can't just use somebody's image and picture to promote some shit that you're doing, because automatically people are going to think, oh shit, 50 got a fatter dick at this spot. Maybe I should go get my dick fatter, right? So he's suing her, and she'll be going through that. So let's get into the topic for tonight. Some of the guys are saying they don't need it. You don't need it? You don't need any dick fattening? Good. Good for you. David Dillon says, dang, we got it hard every which way. Sure the fuck do. I mean, it's real out here. It's real out here. I see Giovanna backstage, and anybody else who wants to come up tonight to talk about this subject. I find this subject very, very interesting. And it was inspired by a recent Calvin Klein ad, right? You guys saw my banner, and if you didn't, let me throw it up for you really quickly before I get into the subject, so you know what the hell is Jen talking about tonight, okay? So this is what I'm talking about tonight. Is our future obese, complacent, and androgynous? Is our future obese, complacent, and androgynous? And if you look at the thumbnail, all the way on the right are two models used by Calvin Klein. As you can see, they're in Calvin Klein underwear. The male, who some may call androgynous, because it's like, is he a guy or a girl? Is he finally doing the thing we make fun of guys for? You need a bra. You need a bra. Is it just a guy with some man boobs? Decided to throw on a sports bra? In the middle there, we have Savage Fenty, Rihanna's lingerie line, Savage Fenty. You see the woman there and the man who may be considered androgynous, right? Because if you look at him a certain way, he looks female. If you look at him another way, he looks male. So you have Savage Fenty in the middle, which is another major lingerie brand, very popular. In between the man with the man boobs and the Savage Fenty, we have Zaya Wade, Dwayne Wade's daughter, who used to be his son. Okay, Dwayne Wade's son, as you guys know, identifies now as a she. So she is Zaya Wade now, and some people may say she's androgynous, kind of looks like a boy, kind of dresses like a girl. All the way to the left, we have Victoria's Secret, who has now jumped on the obese wave and dressing women who are obese in lingerie. So that's the new move. I was walking in the mall the other day, walked past Victoria's Secret window. There was an obese woman in a huge, huge poster in lingerie. So they want obese women to also feel sexy. And all the major brands are jumping on it. Yes, the fuck they are. Now, I was shocked to see Victoria's Secret because, as you know, Victoria's Secret, the average model is 34, 24, 34, which happen to be my measurements, just putting it out there. Well, now 36 because mama's been doing squats. But the average runway model is 34, 24, 34, believe it or not, usually is size 0 to 2, right? So I was very shocked to see Victoria's Secret now has obese women in their ads, in their posters. And I was like, they're going after that Savage Fenty money because Rihanna is cleaning house, okay? Being, servicing androgynous people, obese people, or fat people, whatever you want to call them, big, small, short, tall, amputees, people in wheelchairs. Rihanna is smart. She's giving everybody lingerie. So Victoria's Secret was like, hold up, we losing money. Let's get a fat girl, put her on the cover really quickly. And that's what Victoria's Secret is doing. Now Calvin Klein is jumping on the boat, and you see what Calvin Klein is giving us in Calvin Klein underwear. So let me bring up Juana. I see No Saint all the way from Mexico City.
Good night. How are you doing, Jen? I'm reporting all the way from Mexico City, where I'm about to go have some drinks at Largo. Maybe you can join me later on.
I love it. I love it. Juana, how are you?
Great, man. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Juana, what is going on?
Hey, sis, it's Friday night.
And it's Friday, yes.
And I just wanted to chat about these hot topics you got.
Yes, it's very interesting. It's becoming more and more popular, right? I want to touch on the complacency thing because there's a pattern I'm seeing online where it's like now doing the most basic thing, waking up and getting out of bed is applauded. And oh, listen, girl, if all you did today was get up and wash your ass, let's celebrate it. Woo! You got out of bed. So are we conditioning people to do the bare minimum and celebrate the bare minimum? And then we have the obesity that's also being celebrated. And universe forbid, you fat shame, right? Or you police a body. It's called body policing, right? And then you have the androgynous, where now everyone is gender fluid. Not everyone, I'm exaggerating the point, but you guys get the point where now a lot of people are like, I'm not even a gender anymore, right? I am gender fluid. And we're seeing that happen with children that are younger and younger and younger, to the point where they're fighting in court that children under 5 years old should not get hormone replacement. So what do you think about that?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. No, Saint.
Yeah, I'm gonna be walking here in a little bit, but I think it's listen, I feel guilty about some of that too. I feel like my grandparents, they were around during the Depression. My dad was born during the Depression, and so they kind of knew what it was to get out and work. And then generations down the line, it's almost, I don't want to say it's a natural state, but it's almost a natural state. Like things become easier, and so my generation kind of knew things as not that bad, right? And so then you tend to want to raise your kids, or you want to give your kids everything. And like you said, it's gone from you try to, it's rough, it is rough, but we're raising complacent kids who I just think is the next generation. It's kind of like we're Generation X and Generation Generation Y or Z or whatever. It's just the next step of growing up where we didn't really have to fight that hard. So people become lazy, but I don't think it's anything just from like the United States. I think just societies in general, so, the dominant societies that are able to be lazy end up being lazy. I'll give you a story. I was in the Bahamas, and we were feeding dolphins. This is a while back. We're feeding dolphins, right? And the dolphins were wild. and they were coming up, and we had fish for them. And they basically explained it. Why, if the dolphin could go catch a fish, why does he come to you? Because it's for free. It's not that he couldn't go catch it out in the ocean. It's that you had a piece of fish he didn't have to work for. He came and get it for free. And I just kind of think, as a society, that's where we're at in a way. We just don't know the hardships as past generations have known. At least, you know, I'm some people do. I understand that, but I'm just in general as a society. By the way, that's Erica. Say hello.
Hey,
Hi, Erica. Look at how pretty.
thank you so much. Nice to meet you all.
And I got my brother-in-law's here and his wife. I got a bunch of people here, so they're all in from Colombia.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad that you popped up. I'm glad that you pulled up all the way from Mexico City.
Yeah, I'll try to catch you later. We're gonna run, but I just want to say hi, Jen. Love the show as usual. Want to show my support. Hey, Joanna as well.
We do.
Yeah, we do. She listens all the time, although she's off the screen. Anyway, I'll try to keep up. I'll try to check in if you're up late like the last time.
All right. Thank you
All right.
much.
Good night. Have fun.
Good night.
All right.
I like what he touched on, Jen, about you know, how lazy and everything, because that whole complacency thing and you saying people being applauded for just waking up, you know, getting out of bed, you know, it may upset some people to hear me say this, but you know, it's kind of like that whole thing about giving all the kids a trophy for just participating. To me, it's un-American. It's
un-American.
It's un-American because, you know, American was built on rugged individualism. It's about distinguishing yourself from the people who are, you know, for lack of a better word, complacent. For people who get up, you know, early every morning and get their work done. But now we're just applauding just the fact that you woke up, you know, and now we're applauding people who just participated, you know, in life and sucking air. Oh, you sucked air today. So congratulations for you. You know, that whole pandemic thing is a part of the complacency. A lot of people don't want to work. I'm not talking about anybody on this panel. This panel is some of the hardest working people, but I struggle with hiring because people just don't want to work. You know, they don't want to work. And this is not our grandmothers and grandfathers America. They used to work hard. I know my grandparents did, and my father still works. And, you know, you don't get, you know, trophies for just, you know, waking up every day. Is what you do with that time. I love what you said about time. We don't have a lot of time. And people are being so complacent as if they, you know, they're going to live forever. And you only have a small window to get done what you have to get done.
Right. To really kick ass and leave something for the people you're leaving behind, should you leave them behind. I love this point that Juliana made. Don't the kids feel bad for getting a participation trophy? I would feel bad for getting the damn participation trophy. Like, here,
I would.
Here's your trophy. It's like, for what? It's a little scary, and I know people are always like, oh, it's just a few people, it's not, but I think that social media has connected the globe, and I really do think that even if you are feeling okay, right? Even if you are feeling okay, for years, people have been saying the media can influence, music can influence, TV shows can influence, lack of representation or representation can influence. So if I'm a teenager, let's say 13, 14, and I'm just moody, maybe I have some period cramps, maybe I'm just moody, and I'm online all the time because we're all addicted to this shit. And now people are telling me it's okay to feel miserable. It's okay to not want to do anything. Take care of your mental health. It's okay to check out from the world. Even if I'm not feeling that way and it's just some fucking period cramps, now I'm thinking, maybe I'm depressed. Maybe I have to hide from the world. And I think that's my fear of the conditioning is the issue I have. Not that some people don't have some sort of mental illness or depression, but I think that the powers that be, the people that are selling the pharmaceuticals, are telling everyone something is wrong with you. That's what I'm afraid of for like the younger generations. Haran DeMarco, sir, how are you?
Good evening, madam.
Good evening. Oh, I like that. Need me a couple girls, put them on a strip.
Hey, as long as I can get my cut.
That's another lifetime ago. Uh-oh, Glenn Lawrence. We got Glenn Lawrence just pulled up the block.
Of course he was going to show up. I was actually going to hit him up on the IG, be like, yo, we got your favorite topic going on, bro.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about fat chicks. You see the hat, right? Y'all see the hat.
Listen, guys get fat too.
You see the hat, right? Yeah, they do. They do.
I'm
hoping I gave everybody the Novocaine because, you know, Glenn Lawrence is a no Vaseline type of guy. I hope I hope
he is. Really, Glenn? Wow, that's some new shit. Wow. Okay, hey, look. Hey, I accept you.
Watch what he says. Haran, what do you think about this? Is our future going to be complacent, androgynous, and obese? What do you think? Is that where we're headed?
No, the future isn't going to be that way. It's just this particular cycle. This isn't wartime. This is peacetime. You know what I mean? It was previously wartime, and people. You have to understand that during peacetime, people have the luxury to avoid traditions. You know, people have the luxury to indulge in all kinds of wild ideas and extreme liberal thoughts and so on and so forth because it's about abundance. For example, when the pandemic hit, you know, everyone was real clear about where they fell in line because no one was real sure what lied ahead. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of people behaving, you know what I mean, very traditionally. Everyone knew, you know what I mean, what a man was and wasn't because people's survival was being threatened. During the Depression, I'm very sure that people worked together and men behaved like men, women behaved like women because the survival of the species was on the line. Right now, the survival of the species isn't on the line. Mediocrity is king. People can play in the mud. You know, media is democratized. You know, it's the illusion of inclusion, so on and so forth. So, once it reaches to a point, because the pendulum always swings. Once it reaches to a point and it reaches critical mass, and we're at a moment where the lines have to be drawn again, then we're just going to go right back to some version of what we were before.
I think the government wants us to be obese, complacent, and androgynous, so that when the real takeover, see, they're just prepping. They're just prepping us. We're being groomed for this. But when the real takeover happens, men aren't going to want to fight because they're getting medical marijuana and getting high and getting fat. And some of them want to be, a lot of them want to be women. The kids, don't know what to believe in. Nobody really wants to work, so that means nobody's going to want to physically fight.
I don't think we're taking something into consideration. We're not taking into consideration the 80-20 principle. If anyone's familiar with the Pareto principle, okay. Now, with the advent of social media, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Due to the fact that everything is on display, we're assuming that all this stuff just basically just appeared. It's always been there. It's just been a curtain, over it. The guy next door, was always a weirdo. Okay. Jeffrey Dahmer is a clear example of that. Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer lived across the street. But we're introduced to that concept now because of the advent of the internet and so on and so forth. So crazy people being across the street isn't that much of a shocker. Now, do I think that going forward, there won't be that many men, who will rise up and stand the call? Absolutely. I do believe that there will be a small amount of men who will do it, just like there was a small amount of men who were ready to go to war during Vietnam. There was a small amount of men who were ready to go to war during, the Gulf War. There's always a small amount of men who are ready to get up and push the species forward. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Most
but
men
the
are.
problem is, hold on, around. The problem is with that
Okay.
is that small amount of men has gotten smaller because there's no men. We got
Okay.
feminine men. All right, we
Yes, we
got
do. We
guys
do.
holding purses. Okay, we got guys wearing dresses and skirts. We don't got men anymore, and that's why ladies
And
are mad. Ladies are like,
and
"Where's
that's
the
all I
men at?"
was. That's
Because
all I was trying to say, Haran, when I was just saying, I don't know if I stepped on your toes while you interrupted me to say what you were saying, but all I'm saying is that I believe with Jen on this topic is, I don't know if you realize, Jen, it's so paramount that you touched on these three things: the complacency, the obesity, and the androgynous. You cannot fight wars or anything in that state, of physicality or that state of mind. And all I'm saying is that if men and women, but I did touch on the men specifically, but if the men are overweight and they want to be feminine, that means they're not going to be fight ready. That's all I'm
Jake,
saying.
Jake,
And
can I
if
throw
people
something
are
back
not
at
wanting to
you?
work, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But here's the problem: the men that we have now are the men that the women have created. This is what they have told men to be like. It's
I
okay.
agree.
Someone is just gonna accept you for the way that you are. You're perfect
I
just for the way
agree.
that you are. You know what? You get a participation trophy, Timmy. Who cares? You're picking your nose on the bench the whole time. You're a winner too. Like that mentality didn't come from men. That came from women. So women have created the men that we have now, and then they're mad that we have this type of men. And it's like, well, who's responsible? You know,
Well,
who did it first, the chicken or the egg? Are you mad at the chicken or are you mad at the egg, in this situation?
well, first of all, I'd like to say, you know, my apologies, Joanna, for interrupting you. Secondly, what are our thoughts about, competition and competitiveness? Because I think that now in our society, being competitive is being vilified. And I think that, competitiveness is important. And a lot of these ideas that we have right now, we're looking at, they are the result of a thirst and some sort of need for America to be some kind of socialist society where people, are just not
Preach.
behaving are not behaving in a competitive manner. They're not thinking about innovation. They're not understanding that capitalism is a system, and greed is a defect of the human, psyche. But and those two things, are two totally different things. But anyway, the point I'm sitting here making is that capitalism itself speaks to the natural instinct of humankind. Competition leads to innovation. Innovation that essentially leads to the ongoing of our species. So after a while, if we continue to consistently be complacent, we're going to become a very weakened species. Our genetics are going to be affected.
So I want.
I oh I
I think this is a fair question, Martel Duval. I think this is for you, Joanna. Who are we supposed to be fighting? What would you say to that?
Who are we supposed to be fighting with? First, I want to say to Haran, amen, brother. Amen. Capitalism and competition is paramount. We wouldn't be where we are without being competitive. And it's all setting us up, to me, in my humble opinion, for a socialistic style society, which is I'm completely against. Who are we fighting for? You're supposed to be fighting for your own individualism. But now we're in a culture where, oh, we're fighting, and I have nothing against any of these things. We're fighting for women and feminism, some people would say. Oh, we're fighting for, gay rights, as some people would say. Oh, we're fighting for black people, as some people say. No, it was Asian rights. No, it's but if you fight for yourself and you be competitive, then it furthers the genetic species, a stronger genetic species of people. If you fight for yourself, fighting for all these different causes, all these different isms, I think is a detriment. You be the best individual that you can be, And I think that raises the culture.
So let me give Glenn some pushback, because I've heard you say before, Glenn, that women have made these men, women have made these men, women are cultivating these men, right? I think the only, and a lot of men would disagree, and this is not race specific at all, but when men are missing and absent, right, women have to grab themselves by the balls and raise these children because the men are not present. So the women overcompensate, I think, right? So when you say the chicken or the egg, if the man, the father, is out of the home, right, and he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing as a man, you leave the woman to do what she has to do, right? So why not blame the men when men are supposed to lead? Women aren't supposed to lead, not in our culture, not in our country. And I know there's some countries far, far away where the women lead and they run in, they have 3, 4, 5 husbands. They do exist, but that's not us. So how can you blame women for the men not being men and the men not being present? Because what kind of man would I have in my home if I can tell him, no, Timmy's going to get a participation trophy and the man is going to concede? What man is going to concede to that?
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys like the movie Forrest Gump?
Yes.
It
was cute.
How many women have you heard say, "Oh my God, I would love to have a guy like Forrest Gump"?
None.
No, but I mean, just the acts that he did, like how nice and how sweet he was to Jenny. I've heard that from women a lot.
I've heard that.
Okay.
That's a joke.
Yes, but here's the reason why they say that. The reason why they say that is because Forrest didn't have any boundaries. Forrest didn't have any guidelines. He continued to forgive her bad behavior over and over and over again. And when women say, "Oh my God, I want a guy like Forrest. He's so sweet. He's so unconditionally loving." Basically what they're saying is, I want a doormat. I want a guy to walk all over that's not going to treat me less than. So when we say that women have created the men that we have now, is because women are saying, this is what we want, guys. We want a guy that wears skinny jeans. It's in touch with his feminine side, that has no problem wearing a purse, is sensitive. And then guys are like, well, shit, we want to get with women. So we want to get the booty. So guess what? I'm going to wear a skirt. Not me, but, Haran will. And you know what? Haran's wearing a skirt with his pumps. And, he's just trying to get laid. He's trying to attract women. So of course, he's going to do what he hears women say that they want. And really, it's not what they want. It's what there's two forms of hypergamy here. There's two sides of hypergamy. There's a long beta side of hypergamy, and there's the alpha fuck side of hypergamy. And we're getting into that tomorrow on Thor's stream. If you guys really want to get into it, it's a really good stream. We're going to talk about, because, most guys in this space, in the red pill space, are like, oh, all women are hypergamous. Hypergamous is the enemy. Women ain't shit. No, we're going to tell you guys how hypergamy is your ally and how hypergamy is good for you. And me and Haran have had great conversations. But the reason why I'm going to push back on this whole topic here about, you said fathers leaving the house. Now, let's mind you, fathers didn't start leaving the house until no fault divorce, okay, was a thing, and until the freedom of the sexual expression with contraceptions. So once the sexual revolution hit, that's when we started seeing fathers leaving the household more and more and more, always going on. These fake masculine dudes are always comparing women.
Let me say this real quick. If you guys want to support the channel, hit me at Cash App. On the Block with Jen is scrolling on the bottom, or throw a super chat in the chat box for me. Thank you, gracias. If you're catching this on replay, you're not catching us live. Cash App is open 24 hours a day. Glenn, I'm gonna call a little cap on you. I'm gonna throw a little cap at you. And here's why. Not a big cap, not yet. I'm working my way up.
Are we working our way up to the big cap? I got more hats to wear.
Yes, I'm working my way up. And here's why. Because, again, you're saying women want it, right? Why is it that? Because women want a lot of things. We're very dynamic creatures. We want this, we want that. Sometimes we don't know what we want. We change our mind. But we With Haran, don't get cut.
All the time. Where's that all the time sign at? Where's that all the time sign at?
One, I don't have one.
Because you know what? I know a certain woman that wanted a baller, but then she got with a bum and they made him a semi-baller because he was cute.
Okay, so listen to this. Why is it that women want money? They want a guy to look good. They want a guy to be romantic, right? Men don't do that. What they do is go wear the skinny jeans. They go wear the skinny jeans, according to you. Because women want money. They want men with money. So why don't men go run out, right, and get rich and get money? But you're saying the minute a woman says, I want you to be sensitive and I want you to wear skinny jeans, he'll run out and do that, but he won't take his ass to run out and get rich. This not
Yes.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question.
And I want to give a little pushback on. I want to give a little pushback on Glenn too. I agree with what you said about the no fault divorce thing, ushering in women kind of taking over and men kind of being pushed aside because they gave women a choice. Before she didn't have a choice, she had to stay. But at the same time, what you're leaving out is who ushered in those laws for no fault. And those things were by men. And those things were by men. So if you're going to speak on it, speak on both sides so the audience gets both in a balanced perception of what a balanced perception of what the causes are. Okay.
This is what I'm going to say about both of these things. Let's go back to. I'm going to go to Jen first, and then I'm going to go to you. All right. So Jen, you brought up those skinny jeans. Why are guys doing that? Because most men today, or at least for the last 20, 30 years, all right, have been fixated on trying to get with women. And that's when the game theory came out with Neil Strauss. And you had all these other, guys trying to run game, these POAs, writing books on game, right? And so what they're doing is collecting all this data and seeing what works on women. So now all these guys are trying to look for shortcuts. They're like, oh, I'm not rich, but I can wear the skinny jeans. I could look like I'm a baller. I could present myself as a baller because they're looking for short-term game results. I just want to bag the girl in bed. I don't want to have a long distance or long-lasting relationship. I just want to get laid. And guys would mimic. It's just like the richest people I know don't dress rich. Okay? They dress like bums. Mm-hmm. I know a producer that rolls around in a Toyota Corolla, like an old busted one, and this dude has a nice house like up in Hollywood Hills. Mm-hmm. So, the richest guys don't dress rich, but what catches women's attention, the flashiness, the name brands, so guys are seeing what women are attracted to, and they put themselves in it to try to play like this role that they are who they say they are or who they think they are. They're masquerading as these ballers when they work at McDonald's, like when they don't have what they say, but they're doing that because they know women are attracted to it. So you're right. They're not focused on their bag. They're not focused on their money, but they're focused on the short-term gain, which is, can I get in your pants tonight? That's all they're focused on.
Comment, Brother Derek, I'm assuming the last name is Muhammad, but I'm not sure. Who benefits from the destruction of the traditional family? Who benefits from the feminization of men? Both genders are victims in this war to destroy the family structure. I would love for the men, red pill especially, I would love for the men to go after the men that are putting these laws in place to fuck you in the ass, because it's not the women that are fucking you in the ass. The women are benefiting and taking advantage of the laws put in place by men. Why aren't you going after the men? I know a man in particular who fought court, right? Proved that child support was illegal, did some old crazy shit, and got his child support reduced incredibly, right? He went after the system. He didn't sit there and say, my baby mama, X, Y, and Z. He went to the source. So why aren't all the red pill pansies going after the source? Go after the men. What do? You go after the easy targets and you blame the women. When is the next rally for all the men who are mad about paying child support and alimony? When is the next rally in front of the fucking child support court? Okay, telling them, cut these fucking laws. We are dying out here paying these bills. When is that happening, Glenn?
Well, men don't
Like
rally. Men
and
don't rally.
likewise, Jen, you go when you said go after the source. This is what Don Lemon got in trouble for when he a week or so ago when he tried to bring up reparations for Black people for being sold, and the woman he was speaking with, she said, I agree with you about reparations, but you should go after the source who first sold um, Africans into slavery, and it was Africans selling other Africans, and
Oh,
that's why I and that's why
dang.
I push back. That's why I push back so much on this racism stuff. Stop blaming the white man and the white woman. Go after the source, but they don't want to do that. Likewise to men who have the conversation about why the destruction of the family is about the woman pushing the man out. I agree with you. The woman has taken a lot of advantage of laws that were put in place from the source by other men, but you don't hear men on panels or on their shows or in the so-called manosphere or out just in the world in general going after the source. They will come and say women, women, women. Glenn, I respect you and love you. I don't know why this conversation got onto the women when it's the man who is making the laws, when it's the man who still runs the world. Um, we gotten off complacency and obesity and
But
androgynous
what I was
because
saying
you want to say, because you needed to say, you still need to say, you still needed to say, but it's a woman. It's the woman. It's just like Adam in the garden. Forgive me, Jen. It's just like Adam in the garden who turned around and told God, but it's Eve, the woman you gave me. He turned around and blamed God for his sin. He said, I wouldn't have sinned if you didn't give me this woman. Men have to get over this thing about blaming women. It's that's a part of the thing that what Jen's topics is about, the complacency of the mind, where you won't reach deeper into yourselves to figure out the problems that are plaguing your lives while you're not living to 80 and 90 years old as a man, because you're focused on the wrong thing. Your priorities are beset on the wrong thing. The problem is not the woman, Adam. The problem is in you. You're smart. You're smarter than a woman. Go figure out this problem that's plaguing a lot of men. Jordan Peterson cried on national television the other day because of the sadness within men. Well, men don't have to be sad. They don't have to be weak. They don't have to be feminine if they reach down and they're willing to fight other men. But men don't fight other men. They want to fight the woman. Can you deal with that?
Well,
okay. Let me respond to that.
Jordan Peterson is always crying. Second, men do rally, Glenn. Men do rally. They rally online. I've seen 10, 20, and 30 of them on the channel rallying about women are doing. Go to the source is my point. Go to the source, because look, again, it's happening with abortion. Now men, by law, have to pay while the baby is in the womb. What do men do? They blame women for getting pregnant instead of going to the source. For making up such an absurd law. Now I have to pay you child support for the baby in the womb. So the baby's not even out yet, and I have to pay you. Why not go to the source? Are y'all a bunch of punks? You can respond.
All right, can let me respond for a few things. One, I only brought up the reason why we have men the way that they are now is because men want to find out what women want, and they hear what women's saying. I'm not saying that they're right. I'm not saying what they're doing is right. I preach against these kind of guys all the time. I always talk about work on your money, work on your muscles, work on your game, and work on your frame. Every man needs to be on that. If you're not on those four things, you are not ready to be involved with a woman. I've said that numerous times. But what I'm telling you is, but we have constantly over social media and everywhere else, we're hearing what these ladies say they want, and these weak-minded men are going to try to caterpillar or mimic, chameleon themselves to be this guy so that they could get the lay. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for long-term investment in a relationship. They're looking for a body count. Okay.
And that's the problem.
Yes,
That's the
I
problem,
agree.
Glenn, because as a man, you weren't as a man, you weren't put on this earth to chase women. God gave you a purpose.
You're on this planet to chase excellence.
Yes, yes. And you need to tell the men on your show this. Stop chasing ass and chase the purpose. The women will come. The women will come. They will be waiting at the finish line once you win, but the men want to get the ass first before they want anything.
Exactly.
No, I think there's something.
What you said is something.
There's something people are not thinking about right now. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Yes, you're correct that men should be chasing their purpose, but for 1 second, we need to put the idea of a purpose to the side for a second. And I was having a conversation with a young man about this. Fuck your purpose for right now. Who are you as a person? Who are you? What do you stand for? What are your principles? What are your ideas? Do you have boundaries? Are you willing to stand up for yourself? What do you believe in? Now, when you have these components put into place, then it's easier to say, okay, here's my purpose because it falls in line with my ideas. It falls in line with who I am as a person. You can't have a purpose without knowing who you are as a person. And there lies the problem. A lot of men don't have an identity. They have no core concept of who they are. If you have a core concept and an identity and you are loyal to that identity, then you can say, okay, this is where I'm going. This is how I'm going to get there. And whoever's with me is with me. That's it.
Can I add to that?
Wait a minute. I want it before you jump on, Tony. I want World Kings to respond because he's been waiting.
All right, what's up? How y'all feeling?
Hey, how are you?
What's going on, brother?
Good to see you again.
What's going on?
Yeah, good to see y'all too again. I wanted to comment because I agree with what Glenn was saying. But we got to also take into account that some men chase their purpose and then they're going to be chasing women at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Like some men, like they just want women as well.
Yep.
And I don't feel like, I feel like it's to each their own, just like Jen say. Jen say she don't want to get married. Some men don't want to get married. They don't want one woman. They want to chase their purpose, and in the meantime, they want to chase women. But I think to take advice from a lot of these shows is wrong because these dudes sound like robots. You know what I'm saying? Like like you have like they don't have any flexibility in what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like they say it they have it like where it's tunnel vision, where you can only do things one way. But it's bigger than that. It's more. You gotta look to the side. It's more than that. So yeah, I just wanted to add that on that. And then I wanted to say something about the Jeffrey Dahmer thing too.
Yeah.
That you said at the beginning. Because I want to know, somebody had brought it up. Why isn't that documentary in the LGBT section of Netflix?
Is it?
It's not. I'm saying, why is it not in that section?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Why should it be?
Why would it be?
Because why wouldn't it be? Because they were all gay. He was gay and these were gay men.
Yep.
He's a serial killer. He's a serial killer.
It doesn't matter if he's a serial killer. He was gay, and most of those dudes that was messing with him was gay also.
It should be under the gay.
No.
Yes, Jen, you tripping. It don't matter if he's a serial killer or not. That should be in the LGBT section. But they don't want to claim his ass.
Now to respond to that, you all remember that movie Shawshank Redemption?
Yes.
Do you remember that the prisoners who were sexually violating the main character in the prison? you remember what Morgan Freeman said about them? Morgan Freeman said about the ones who are the violators. He said, I wouldn't call them homosexuals because you would have to be human first. Jeffrey Dahmer, yes, was violating men who enjoyed same-sex, things with other men, but the first priority was that he was a serial killer. He was inhumane. That speaks a lot louder than his so-called sexuality. What he was doing is not what we would call sex. What he was doing, see, you're focusing on the sex. What he was doing, just like when a man violates a woman, that's not categorized as sex. It's categorized as something else for a reason. Do you understand the difference? And I'll just leave that there.
Yeah, I understand the difference, but like I said, the LGBT, they need to claim him as well, because
I think that's a stretch.
No, that's my point. So you're missing the point. They don't claim him because that's not sex. That was an inhumane act.
So should they call him a gay serial killer? Like I don't understand. Like gay serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. Like does that? Like I don't understand.
I mean, then we can call Gacy a homosexual because he only killed little boys.
Well said. Well said.
So no, we can't give you that one. We can't give you that one.
Yeah, he needs to be in there.
No,
he needs to be in there. They don't want to put him on there. Even, I mean, he was a serial killer, but he was also gay. Of course, he was a serial killer. He was crazy.
Because
everything else in the gay community, the sexuality comes first. It comes before you're black. It comes before you're anything else. So I don't see why they would have to switch it in this situation.
That's deep.
I disagree. I think your race comes before your.
No, it should, but in this day and age, it comes your sexuality comes first.
Nah, I disagree.
That's a brilliant point.
Because then we can say, well, why aren't you're a black man? Why aren't you claiming Billy? What's his name? Billy? Is it Woodruff? Billy? I don't know his last name. Billy Woodruff. Or why aren't you claiming gay black men? You're black.
What do you mean? Why am I not claiming gay? We always tell black men that you're black first. I'm saying the LGBT community first says that you're gay first. I'm saying I'm looking at it from what their point of view.
Yeah, he's using their definition, saying that like since
I'm using their definition, y'all. I'm not using mine. I'm using theirs. I'm using theirs.
We're gonna do this because I wish my friend was here, Lily, because she would tell you, no, I'm black first. You know, same as my other friend, comedian Ty Reva, he would say I'm Mexican first. So
but you gotta hold on, pull that sign back up again. Because that's only a few of them. I'm talking generally speaking. They usually point them out as them saying, okay, I'm gay first. Then it goes my race for the most part.
Yeah, but I think Jeffrey Dahmer being gay or not gay is such a minute point to what he did. He was eating people. Like he was.
I forgot he was gay. I just remember he had asses in the fridge. So I'm like, I was like, oh yeah, he is gay. Like I forgot completely. I was just thinking about the fact he was out here eating people. That silly me. Thanks for letting me remember that part.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a no. We're all voting no on that, World Kings. We're all voting no on that. So moving forward, Tony, you wanted to say something. Can't hear you. We just passed the mic. Can't hear you.
I think you muted.
Sorry, you carry on. Sorry, I took my phone out. Sorry, go on. You guys carry on.
Okay. All righty.
I'm just grateful that Glenn is realizing that, blaming women is not going to move the plight of men. We need to get to I just want to continue to hit home on the issue of going to the source. Going to the source is other men. Deal with other men.
See, my channel, when we talk about men. We talk about the plight of men and the stupid things men do to get women.
And I believe you.
We don't
Forgive me, Glenn. Forgive me, Glenn. Forgive me. Give me some grace. I believe you, but you got on this panel tonight and said why women are responsible, and I need you to not do that.
I didn't say why women were responsible.
Whatever the words you chose, whatever the words that you chose, you brought up because women were misleading men as to what they wanted, and that's not the issue. That is a symptom of a problem. The problem was at the source, and it's other men. Deal with that. Go start the argument with why this is occurring.
I'm sorry. I'm going to push. I'll push back on that and say, you know what? That says that there's no accountability for the way that we raise our kids, and we raise our kids. Do you think dads are the ones complaining about participation trophies? Do you think dads are the ones that are mad that their kid's not getting a trophy? No, it's moms. It's moms saying it's okay.
All right, but Glenn, again, like you can't, I am man, hear me roar, and then tuck your dick when it's time to make a
Nobody's tucking their dick. All I'm saying is like everybody has to be accountable to what happened.
Let me tell you why. I can be a mom. I could be a soccer mom and want a participation trophy. All I want for Timmy, y'all are the coaches, y'all own the teams, y'all run the schools. You do, men do it. So if you're gonna
men don't run schools.
Something. If you're going to blame women for wanting something, then blame the men who concede and cower to those women.
Absolutely.
Can I say one thing?
It goes both ways. All I'm saying is that both parties have to be equally accountable for the situations that we have today. Men not being men is men's responsibility, but also women saying that they want this type of men. But then when the men come that way and they say, oh, I don't want that man, women need to be accountable for what they say as well. What's wrong with that? That's all I'm saying is, you want equality, then accountability has to go across the board with equality. And everybody has to be accountable.
Glenn, women are never going to be accountable. Okay.
Exactly.
As a woman, I'm going to say this, and Jen, this might touch your nerve on you, but women are not going to be accountable. This is why Eve in the garden, she didn't take responsibility. She blamed the serpent. Women are not going to be responsible. You were put here to lead. You were put here to make decisions. You were put here to correct the woman. You were put here to check the woman. Yes, sir. Please, somebody help me with Glenn.
Can I say something? This is a fascinating conversation.
You talk now? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Before I do, I remember having a good talk with Jen during the week on Facebook. A quick apology to Jen. We had a good conversation. If you remember, we had a talk on Facebook. Apology to you. It's a very good conversation, but I addressed it wrongly in my point. But, you know, it's all love. You know, I love you, and it's all good. Now, back to the point, yeah? You're right. In theory, that men are supposed to lead and it's a man's world. I agree with that. But, big but, the black community globally, in many cases, whether it's the UK or USA, have a similar family structure, which is matriarchal. The women are the ones that place the values and lead the communities, not the men. That's the difference. So generally speaking, you're correct. Men are meant to lead. I agree with that. Men are supposed to lead. I agree. The problem is in Afro-American communities and West Indian communities, they are matriarchal. So, you know, you got a very high number of Afro-American women and West Indian women leading single parent homes. And they're the ones who are the transporters of those values. And it's a fact that, well, sorry, according to sociological theory, that women are the transporters of values. So you're right, men are supposed to lead, but you see, you mentioned the Bible, yeah, that's biblical. But in the, you know, society's, let's say the societal way of doing things has women as the transporters of the value system and how things are meant to be, and that is the problem. I mean, hate to say this, but if a woman has, let's say, certain street values, which are seen as decadent compared to the normal society, which is more positive, then when it's decadent, then you're going to have, sadly, disproportionate numbers of men in prisons, be it the USA or the UK. And that's a sad fact. Feel free to comment on that.
And
I
who
see
made
quite a
those?
mouthful there.
I have
Sorry,
to ask a
sorry.
question.
Who's
Are you,
responsible for checking the woman? Who's
Mr. T,
responsible
Mr.
for the
T,
prisons?
No. Man, listen.
Let Haran
More,
respond. Wait, Mr. T, let Haran respond, please.
Mr. T,
sorry,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a quick question, Mr. T. So
sure.
you're basically saying that men allow these women to get away with it?
You see, I'll address that, yeah. This goes back to Glenn Lawrence's point, I think. A lot of men being feminine, okay? If a man's feminine and she's feminine, who's going to lead? That's the thing. A man like me, okay, let me rephrase that. Certain guys that are more, going back to the woman's point, guys that are more clued up in their identity and have found themselves in their identity will know how to lead, will know the difference between right and wrong, and be more principled and have the ability to attain trust, respect, and all those things that garner someone who can not see. When people talk about leading, it's like a child. Oh, I want to lead this girl. She don't submit to me. That's bullshit. That's not leading. Leading is a natural leader, like any strong political leader, who's come in the past. These guys naturally lead by charisma, trust, and respect. And people think, yeah, I respect this guy. Okay, he's not given. But back to your point, yeah, guys who have those traits will naturally command respect, irrespective of color, creed, or race and class. That's just how it goes. You know.
So you are agreeing. So we are in agreement that this is the fault of men, correct? Because I think this is all men's fault. Me personally, I just let you guys know.
Wait. No, stop. This goes back to Glenn Lawrence's point. Yeah.
Well, Glenn and I had those conversations.
Let me finish. Look,
I told that to Glenn, it's our fault. We've had many conversations like this. You know what I mean?
No.
Let me
A lot of these guys. Let me finish. Very important. I've got to say this. Important. Yeah. Addressing your point. You mentioned men and identity. Yes, this is your point. Yeah.
Yes.
I can come in and say the problem is a lot of these guys are very feminized men. Yeah. And I see it all the time. A man could be 6'5", a bodybuilder, and still have feminine traits about him. Yeah. That's the issue. Yeah. The issue is a lot of guys are very feminine. Yeah. And a woman can't respect a man who's feminine. Like Jen once famously said a little while back, and I quote this quite often. Jen said this a few months ago. Yeah. I like a man who I can look up to. Not on my same level, man I can look up to. And that's knowledge. That's deep. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So when you say it's men's fault, when you say it's men's fault, I kind of disagree, because women have influence too, because women choose men, and how some women choose men is how the man will follow. That's why if you look at white middle class people in West London, the women are have a certain way and the men are a certain way. But if you go to, let's say, the inner cities, and even white girls white women in the inner cities have a certain way which the guys are and the guys follow. Okay, and that's how it goes. So it's a mixture of both. You know, if men are more masculine and less inclined to conform to, let's say, a decadent street ideal, then there wouldn't be a problem. That's my opinion.
I think men have become pussies, and they have not.
Exactly.
Men have become what? Sorry.
Accepted pussies, and I believe that men have not accepted the fact
that
you've spoken already. Let me finish.
Sorry.
They sit here and behave as if they're devoid of choice. You have a choice, man. You can get up and do something. If you don't get up and do something and try to change yourself or change your surroundings, you're a coward. And that's not a woman's fault. It's not your mom's fault. And now, look, listen. The reality of the matter is that, listen. Reality of it, as a man, okay. There's a time limit on your ability to have excuses. Okay.
Correct.
Everyone wants to hear your shit up until like maybe 17. Once you hit like 20, 21, people start looking at you like, okay, kid, it's time to get your shit together. Now, personally, I'm going to move on to something else real quick because I don't want to be too long-winded. In regards to what the laws that men have put in place that essentially have shot us in the foot, yes, men can fix these laws. Men can actually fix these child support laws. We can do this. However, the truth of the matter is that nobody really wants to talk about is that First of all, number one, the female politician is going to get up and do that shit. Not at all. So it is on the onus is on men. On men. No male politician is going to get up and do that shit. You know why? Because the female vote is a very important thing. So no male politician wants to be the guy that wants to be seen as the guy who got up and tried to fix child support laws to you know what I mean, so it can either be balanced or more so in the favor of men. They don't want that. That would be considered political suicide. Most politicians are pussy. They basically are there the moment that they get elected. They're basically there to ensure that they have a job for the next 10, 20 years. That's it. So whatever issues that you have in terms of child support, you know, issues that you have with women in terms of court, your best bet is to basically to protect your neck and be very careful and understanding of the women that you get involved in. Because look, if you are not, you can easily put yourself in a situation where you are fucked. Because nobody's going to come, you know what I mean, save you like that.
I agree with everything Haran said.
Let me add to that. You know what? The problem is men. We don't have a problem saying that. A lot of men in this space don't. You don't understand that a lot of times when guys get red pilled or they go through the whole process, they're mad at themselves more than they are mad at the woman that they were with.
Can't tell.
Okay, a lot of men are like that. And a lot of men get stuck in this red pill rage age and they don't grow up. They're still immature. But the process of it is, man, I fucked up. This is where I fucked up. This is women's behavior. Now I know women's behavior. I can maneuver better. But then you have a sect of the group that's like, oh, women ain't shit. All women are bad. All women are trash. Those guys are like the loudmouths in the room that nobody fucking pays attention to. Okay, we don't pay attention to them because all they do is they want to just spew hate and just hate on women. What they do when they're doing that is not having time to take a look at themselves and fix themselves. We are in the business of fixing men and making men men. Iron sharpens iron. If you come fuck with me, I'll break your little brittle ass if you're not strong enough. Because I will call you out. Me and Haran has had these conversations before. One thing that I love about Haran is that me and him could go back and forth on topics that we don't necessarily vibe with, but we can see each other's point at the end of the day. And we can like agree. We could agree to see, yes, there's a common problem here that we both see that needs to be addressed. My issue is I'm not saying all women ain't shit or it's all women's fault. I'm saying the influence of women onto men. And the reason that is because men want to win women over so bad. Because one thing that men can't get for themselves, they can't do for themselves is they can't fuck themselves. So they will sell their soul and they will sell everything they have to please a woman. That means they would even give up their own respect and their own authority and dictate it over to women just for the hope that she will open her legs for them. And guess what, men? Women will not do that. They will walk all over you if you give them the opportunity to, because they don't see value in you. They don't see that you are a man to look up to. And I've said it all the time.
Can I speak? I got to follow on from that, yeah? That goes back to my point, yeah? That's a brilliant thing to say, and he's dead right. Because the reason they don't respect you is because you compromised yourself for the PUSSY. That's the issue, and that's why you're dead right. When a man compromises himself, you're not a leader because you compromised. You're not challenging the status quo and what's right and what's wrong, which goes back to what I originally said, and that's now reiterated by what Glenn Lawrence just correctly said. Word.
And I agree with you both on that point, because the woman, she wants the leadership. She wants to respect you, but when she knows you will compromise on your own integrity just for her ass, that's why she's not going to submit to you. Why would she submit to that? When she knows that instead of telling her no, or the law is going to be this way, or I'm not leaving this house, I don't care who's going to be paying the bills here. These are my children and you're my woman, you're my wife. No one's pushing me out, no government, no authority. I am the authority. If he can't stand up and say that, she is not going to submit. She will run over him. And to answer the question earlier about why the men aren't in the home, it's not because of the woman, it's because of the weak man who chose to be weak and not be there.
No, I think I see what you're saying, Miss. I think is it Joanna?
Yes.
Yes,
Miss Joanna,
sir.
I see what you're saying. But if somebody wants you out of their home, you can't do that like that no more. It's not like we in the cave in the Stone Age or nothing. You can't do that.
Okay, but why is it okay if it's not his home? Why is he in a woman's home?
No, even
why
his
is he
own
not?
home. Even his own home. I mean, just because we're men, though. If you fall out, if you have a house and you fall out with your wife, of course you're going to be the first one to leave. If somebody has to leave, you're going to leave.
Sorry to cut you, bro. Sorry to cut you, bro. Is that how it works?
But you don't have to leave. You don't have to leave mentally or emotionally.
Oh, okay, yeah, I agree with you on that. But I just want to make sure you're not saying that. Okay, we could just be like, hey, you my woman. You can't go nowhere. And just grab you up and just hold you hostage because I think they got a crime for that. You know what I'm saying? I think it might be called kidnapping or some shit.
I agree. There was this movie in the early 70s. Somebody help me. It was called Claudine, and Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones were the main characters. Diane Carroll was a atrocious baby mama. She had like 7 kids with 4 or 5 different fathers, and she met James Earl Jones character, who was a single man who never had any children, like majority of black men today. Majority of black men don't have children. He didn't have children, and he really liked Claudine. He really liked Diane Carroll's character. And eventually, but see, she couldn't have a man in the home because in the 70s, that was the deal. We will help you take care of all your 7 children, welfare, but you can't have a man in the home. So the funny thing about the movie was he was in and out, sneaking in and out of the house to date her and to be with her. And he had to make the decision if he wanted to take on that situation. At the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he did decide to take on that situation. Why? Because the government was impeding on their relationship. It was impossible for him to have a relationship with her that he wanted to have if he was to allow those rules to impede, in that way. So he became the hero of the and not that I suggest that men do this, I don't. But my point is, he was a man who stood up and said, I don't give a damn. I will be in this house in public. And, I'm a working man. Forget all the welfare. Let her lose it. He married her in the end. Forget all the welfare. And that's what I'm talking about. That's standing up. That's being a leader. Now, I don't agree with the movie in the part that, that should be even a law in the first place. But again, this goes back to what Jen and I were saying. Deal with the laws that are in place. But like Quran was saying, it's political suicide for a lot of men. But still, this country was built on people taking those risks and saying, I will fight you. I don't give a damn. Okay, they fought the Brits. They fought the Brits and said, hey, I don't give a damn. We're dumping all your tea in the Boston Harbor because we will not be taxed. And we don't care if you're bigger and mightier than us. Come over here and we will show you something. That's the rugged collective individualism that is required by men who want to reverse the things that are going on between men and women, and the complacency, and what's leading to the androgyny and to the gluttony and obesity in our culture.
So going back to
hey, hold on real quick, Jen. I just got some correction. I was wrong. So he was on. You said he was on there, right? He was on the LGBT section. They kicked his ass off. So I stand corrected. So he was on that section at first, Jeffrey Dahmer, but the LGBT community got his ass kicked up out of there.
Ah, okay.
So I was wrong.
They didn't
want
to claim him.
Yeah, I was wrong on that. So he was on there. I thought he was never on there, but he was on there at first. And I guess
It's a
they
big
was like,
thing.
hell nah, and took his ass up off of there.
Well, I'm glad they did, because it's not a gay film. It's a serial killer series. It is not a gay series. And
Why was he a simp?
I wanted to go back to the topic. What do we think about the future? Here's a lingerie company, 3 major lingerie companies: Victoria's Secret, Calvin Klein, Savage Fenty, and they're putting obese people in lingerie, which is pushing people to say, hey, look, I can be sexy and obese. What say you? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's just? Do you think that obese people deserve to be in lace and satin? Because this is where we're headed. Like I said, I walked by Victoria's Secret. There are obese women now on the posters, right? What do you guys think about that? Is it fair? Should obese women feel sexy too?
As a business owner, I don't believe in leaving any money on the table. Okay? I don't believe any money. What I'm providing, I want to provide it to, I don't, like you said, Jen, I don't, if they're handicapped, if they're whatever, I don't care. I'm not leaving any money on the table. So, but you know, a lot of people look at it as people pandering to what is a negative in our society, the obesity type thing. I don't see it that way. I see it as an economic move that is a smart move.
Yep.
I don't see how economically it could be, because like the fabric costs more to make those bigger clothes, and that lace is not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So economically, it's a little more costly to make panties a size
Economically,
X small.
there are more obese people in America than what I call average normal people. And
Yes,
so as an economic move, they're going to come out and buy the product in mass. And that's what's happening. And that's why other companies are jumping on board.
It's expensive.
Well, here's the thing. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants to go to Walmart. Okay, yeah, that's great. You know what I mean? You want to include everyone. I'm going to give you guys a particular situation. Ferrari banned 50 and Mayweather and a few other people, I think Justin Bieber and two, from buying their cars anymore. And the reason why is because they were doing all sorts of wild shit with it. You know what I mean? And you know, you can basically look this up. And someone was asking, well, they bought it, and you know, why are they behaving like such? Because, well, you got to understand something. If I'm Ferrari and someone catches you in a Ferrari, and you got this shit sitting on lit up 22s, and you got spray paint on the side, you know what I mean? Yeah, that affects my brand. You know what I mean? You know, that makes people, you know, believe that, oh, Ferraris, you know what I mean, they're in bed with those folks.
But what are you getting at, Ron? What are you getting
at? I'm getting in that I don't, nobody wants to see a fat dude in a bra. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? No one wants to see, you know what I mean, a woman with 8 stomachs, you know what I mean, and 3 necks.
But come on, Haran, we've seen this for a while now.
There's places and spaces where people like to see a woman with abs.
Haran, we've seen this for a while.
With a slender.
If you go to the beach, you'll see this.
I don't go to the beach, sir. I go to actual private places.
I'm just saying, if you go to the beach, if you go to the water park, you'll see big women that let it all hang out.
But here's the reason. Why do they do that?
Find me in those places, sir. That's why you won't find me in those places.
Why do people do that? Why do women do that? Why do we see this acceptance thing? Because we don't have standards anymore.
Exactly.
We're saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But whoever said that didn't have to hold her. Okay.
He's blaming women again. He's blaming women again, Jen. He's like, why are women doing this? Do you not understand that we are in a capitalistic society and we're trying to they're trying to sell to everyone?
Joanna, you're not taking what I'm saying. I'm saying, why we don't have standards? Who holds the standards? Men hold the standards. So if Men are saying, oh, you know what? She's not my type, but you know what? I'll tell her she's sexy. Yeah. And I'll get used to that sexiness. Okay. That's what it is. Guys don't have a threshold, a bottom line threshold. Women do. Y'all women know damn well if a guy looked fat, you would not get with him. No.
I've never seen one woman. I've never seen one woman look at a pair of abs and said, "Ew, abs." That's disgusting.
Exactly.
I've never in my life heard that shit.
But
so again,
dudes,
you're proving my point. You're proving my point.
Dudes have dudes have no standards. I've seen dudes.
Exactly. Now we're okay.
Well, yeah, it goes back to the point of.
I gotta speak.
It goes back to the point of everybody has somebody for them.
What I'm saying is this: the advent of social media. Okay.
Hey. This
was before social media, fam. I'm telling you.
And let's cool it down and let's see what everybody has to say. What was your point again?
First of all, welcome HUDs. Does anybody know HUDs, or is he just new?
Have you guys not watched my channel? I know HUDs very well. Okay, I sent him a bunch of fat chicks today for his birthday.
God looks like he's
I agree with Haran that men have lower or have no standards.
That's what I was saying. Men have no bottom threshold.
Well, the first thing you said was you brought up about the women.
No.
You brought up about the women again.
The reason why we are seeing this is because there's no standards. So the reason why we're seeing these women on magazines, on fitness magazines, and they're being obese is because men have no threshold, no bottom standard. They're willing to accept anything.
I agree with Miss Joanna. I believe it's about money. I believe they're marketing to everybody. They're making a market for everybody.
Thank you, but it is both. It's both that I appreciate the honesty. Men have no standards, but then women get blamed.
Hold on, but if a man does have a standard, then it gets complained about.
Exactly.
So what is it? Is you damned if you do, you damned if you don't.
If you would continue down this road, they're gonna put a crackhead on a swimsuit magazine, and y'all gonna be forced to accept that crackhead. Watch, believe me, you won't see it, man.
Time out. Let's welcome HUDs to the panel. HUDs, how are you? What say you?
So I've only heard a little bit of this right now, but it's very interesting.
This is what we're talking about.
So I really think it's complacent. Yeah, it's complacent. Complacency. I mean, I'll tell you what. I sit in my bed naked almost every single day, and that's how I do my job.
Oh, Jesus.
So complacency.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check out his OnlyFans.
This is your guy, Glenn. This is your best friend, Glenn. This is Glenn's best friend. Okay.
No, but it's very true. It's very true. It's we don't have to do too much nowadays, and I think that's something that we need to think about. Is like, do we need to be better or not? And I really like the point that Glenn was making there on it. Is why men don't have standards. I totally agree on that. But women have standards, and then as soon as a man has standards, why is that shamed? Why are we not allowed to have standards too?
I think everybody.
You are allowed to have standards. I'm sorry, Jen.
No, I was saying I think everyone's. I'm on the odd woman out, but I think everybody has a right to have standards. I've said controversially, if you get fat, a man has every right to leave. Women hate when I say it, but I think in a relationship, both men and women sign up for the individual that's before them. They do not sign up for what happens to you 10, 15, 25 years. And, women hate when I say it, but what about love and conditional? And he wasn't really fake. It doesn't matter. People sign up for what's in front of them.
I agree.
Can I say something? You know what it is? Yeah. In some cases, yeah, the big woman market, yeah, is very dominant, yeah, because it goes back to, the controversial idea that beauty is the eye of the beholder. What I'm saying is like, we used to have an argument back in the 90s, yeah, me and my boys. I was like, Aaliyah's the bomb. She's fit. She's fine. They say, no, she's a skinny insect. We like
Whoever
tick
said
women.
that is not a friend. Okay, don't diss
No,
Aaliyah.
no. I'm saying, but no, but those guys, they're like the fully figured woman, like the big body and the folds and the big heavy kind of thing, yeah. And it's funny because in some like raves, we call them raves, like parties over here, yeah. Go to some events, yeah, and pretty slim women don't get a look in, but thick, like African, big bottom, big breast, they get chased down, they get admired. To the point where one time we went out, I'll be quick. Me and my friend went out, and it's like he thought they'd be an easy target. So he chatted to the big girls, and the big girls are like, no. And they're going on like they're the prize. And he kind of like messes his head up. I go, you know what it is? In this environment, this is the big girl market. Black guys here like the big girls, whereas you like the pretty ones. But this doesn't go like that. That's a crazy head fuck.
As far as what you said is really quickly, I do agree. Men tend to not have standards, but I always thought men didn't have standards behind closed doors. So I think behind closed doors, they don't have standards, but no one's going to stand in front of the picture that I saw at Victoria's Secret, a man anyway, and say, hey, I would smash that. I think women are taking.
They would. They would.
Here's the reason. Yeah, here's
some
the reason
men love
why.
that. They love the big girl. Them.
Here's the reason why. Haran and Huds will verify this for me. Okay, guys, stick to the market that they have success in. If they tried to get with you, Jen, and they didn't have success with a woman like you, okay, they're gonna go for someone that's not like you. That's not gonna tell them no. And guess what? There was a time when them bigger girls would not tell guys no because they weren't getting the attention a girl like you would get. So guys they condition themselves to go for what they are safe in, what they know they have better success at getting. So
low hanging fruit. That's called the low hanging fruit syndrome.
Exactly. And they are going to stay there, and they're going to do that and they'll condition themselves to think that, oh no, they love big girls, because they have conditioned themselves that this is where I have success. This is what doesn't tell me no. This is what opens the legs for me, and they're going to stick with that.
Well, hold on, like Mr. T said,
this is the problem.
It's got to be quality.
Wait a minute, this is the problem with that. You see, when you have those guys who behave like that, the women respond and they said, hey, okay, there's a market. I don't have to sit here and get in shape. There's a market.
Exactly.
There's a plethora of dudes out here, you know what I mean, like this. And you know what I mean? And these women are, let's keep it real. Like, first of all, we need to really understand what the concept of thick is, okay? There was a time in the 80s and the 90s where thick was really shapely, but the woman still had a stomach, okay? It was visible. She had some abs going. She had a shape. Okay, she had some things going on. As with each, for some strange reason, with each and every generation, the archetype of that woman gained like 10 or 20 pounds. Okay, and the now thick is like 200 plus. You know what I mean? And it's just like, whoa, this isn't the thick that I grew up on. You know what
today
I mean?
Lizzo's considered thick.
Yeah, that's thick. Like, no.
I remember when Ashanti was considered thick.
Yeah, not even Ashanti. Ashanti was thick, yeah. But see, I'm in the South. I'm in the South. And, thick could be a plethora of things down here.
You see, here's the thing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in the South. Where thick come from.
I can feel that. I can feel that, and I can understand that. Sometimes when I go down south and I see some girls, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's my version of thick. And I see another one, I'm like, yeah, that looks like she about one good Snicker bar away from my heart.
Yeah. We call them borderlining. But down here in the South, they thick. It's some in the water down here. And they was thick before the BBLs and the ass surgery,
Right.
They been thick down here.
Absolutely. Now, here's the point that I'm trying to make here. If you got all these guys, you have to understand something else too, Jen. Okay, I'm just going to say here like that and say this as crass as possible so we can just put it down the line. Most guys don't fuck. It is what it is, okay? So most guys don't fuck. They don't have sex. Most guys
What is the
don't have
statistics?
sex.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
What's the statistics on that? Huds, go ahead and tell us the statistics because I know you have it. Huds, Huds is an online dating coach, just so you guys know. All right, and he counsels guys, and he knows how many guys ain't getting laid. Huds, take the mic.
I can't remember off the top of my head the actual stats on that, but it is pretty huge. There actually was a recent article I read basically saying that guys between like 17 and 30
here you go. Here you go. It's 1/3 of men 18 to 30 have not had sex in a year or are a virgin.
And this is what Jordan Peterson was speaking about and why he was crying the other night, because we refuse to acknowledge that our young men, our boys, our counterparts, our future leaders are not being taken care of emotionally, spiritually, physically, sexually. And a part of the reason is women have certain standards, and these young men are not meeting those standards.
I agree with you.
Absolutely.
What do you think the solution is then?
Huds, what were the stats?
Glenn has that answer. Glenn spoke on it already. Men and his. I'm sorry, Jen. Go ahead.
No, Huds, what were the stats again? I missed it.
Yes. Yes. So 1/3 of men aged 18 to 30 have not had sex in a year or have not had sex at all in their entire life.
That's bad.
Holy shit.
That's terrible.
And Glenn spoke to this very profoundly. The men need to.
That's in America.
Men need to level themselves up. Glenn, I can't speak for you, but say it how you said it in all those 3 or 4 different areas.
Men need to work on money, muscles, game, and frame. And that's coined by MLD. All right. And Huds knows this. Me and Huds have a stream coming up. We're going to be talking about don't be the safe guy. Don't be the nice guy. All right. Because being safe and being nice doesn't mean you're a good guy. Those are the sneaky guys that play women. So get ready for that one. That's going to be fire.
So you don't think that men are genuinely nice?
No.
I think they are. I think they are. They're genuinely nice, and they genuinely want to be a good person. They want to treat women as princesses. However, the women don't treat them back like a prince.
Why?
I think most women don't deserve to be treated as princesses. A woman that deserves to be treated as a princess is one that has verified to you have vetted that she is a princess. You have to see her as a princess in your own eyes. And if she hasn't met those princess qualities for a guy, then a guy doesn't need to treat her like a princess. Doesn't mean he needs to treat her like a hoe. Doesn't mean anything like that. He needs to treat her like a respectable, normal human being. But what a lot of times these guys do is they give nice guys, they give boyfriend or husband, rights or privileges to women that are not worthy of them. So they try to be the nice guy and they get walked all over, and then they get mad that this woman walked all over them, but they didn't vet the girl well enough in the first place before even deciding to give her those rights in the first place.
Yep, because we call them all we call them all queens and goddesses, and so we put them all in that category.
That ends up hurting us women as well, who are willing to be those characteristics. But the woman with the BBL and the big this, that, the tatas and they get the men, where the women who are trying to be what the men would qualify and deem as a queen or a princess are so she changes her whole thing up, and she says, well, I'm going to be what they're going after. And so it's all messed up when men lower their standards. Okay, men introduce what is the nature of the culture, and women pass it along to children and themselves.
Well, I believe.
Wait a minute, lowering standards. Men have those standards. Like that's what men. Glenn, when you say vet these women, men want to get laid. They don't care about her. Is she going to be a good mother? Is she going to be a good wife?
That's low hanging fruit. And that's the problem.
Anybody, and then when they get their hearts stomped on, they want to take it out on everything that owns a vagina.
Well, that's what Glenn was saying. Instead of treating that woman as such, they want to think that woman is more than what she is. Exactly. That's basically what. So both of y'all are making y'all's points.
I think more.
That is badass. I love that, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. That's
Okay.
badass. That's exactly what it is. Like, you don't treat like a hoe as a housewife.
Exactly.
Equivalent to that. What's the male?
That's
equivalent?
what Glenn was saying. That's what Glenn was basically saying.
What is
He
the
just said it a
male?
little more technically.
You don't treat a fuckboy as a king.
Exactly. That would be the
Exactly.
reverse of that.
Exactly.
Or somebody that you was just trying to fuck. You don't think that this man is going to be your prince in shining armor when all he was trying to do was fuck.
But there's a difference, though. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference.
What's the difference?
When women have sex with men, they get emotionally attached. Irrespective, he could be a fuckboy, and she will think in her head, it's just sex. I'll keep my distance. That's her plan. But when she starts fucking him, dare I say it, my French, that's when she becomes attached.
How
A
old
man, huh?
How
Oi, oi, oi. Huh?
I said, how old is this woman? Sounds like young.
No. I'm saying generally. When women get intimate with guys,
Jim,
a
we're
lot of
not
them
talking about you, okay? Stop
not
being
you, not
solipsistic.
you. Oi, not you. No.
Not all, Jen. Not all. Some.
Yes, not all. Okay. Some women, when they get intimate with guys, they become attached to the guy emotionally as well. Whereas a guy can go out there and meet someone, have sex around the corner, and then go upstairs and do his thing. Or, you know the point I'm trying to make. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the difference.
So women choose badly and men choose badly.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
In some cases, no. In some cases, but when a man chooses badly, going back to I think it was Heron's original point. If a guy knows himself, he can go out there and choose badly, but he'll know it's just sex and then pull himself out. A woman can't do that. She may date badly, but she may just stick there, or may be embarrassed. She made a bad choice, or she just stick there.
I don't mean to cut you off. Let me ask the question.
Go for it. Sure.
Jen,
Mm-hmm.
what makes you sleep with a man?
What?
Oh, get ready. We about to get some insight. This is Jen on the block.
She's got guns, Jen has got guns. Be careful.
This is the after hours edition.
I do have guns. It is Friday night. It's after hours. I'll say this: when I was younger, it was love, right? I was like, oh my God, I love him. I want to. Now I'm all aesthetics. I'm like his height, his body, his hands.
See?
Lust.
It is.
I'm not gonna lie. It is now. It's lust. And if I,
respect.
If I'm not, are your fingernails clean? So
Let's put those small hands down.
Now I'm more there. I'm not looking for a man who like long term, like, oh, you have to be a good father and a good provider. I don't give a fuck. Can you? I mean, what that mouth do? What do you look like naked? Right? That's where I am now. But
You're like a man. You're like a man.
Everybody tells me that. My friend told me that forever. But now
that's not like a man. That's like a woman. It's just that women were never able to speak like that.
Right, and I
always
agree.
No, it's just like a woman.
Yeah, it's just like a woman.
A woman will know, and here, Jen will confirm this. Women know within 10 minutes or 5 minutes of meeting you whether or not she will fuck you or not.
True.
Man, women are more grimy than us. If you ever hear women talking about sex, or you ever hear them talking about sex?
Man,
that's way more vicious than us.
So I always say this. Listen, I've met a lot of guys. This free game. I've met a lot of men that talk themselves out of getting it. Like, because the first 10 minutes, we tell our friends, we tell our girlfriends, girl, he can get it. And then he starts doing this. And then it's like, ew, like, is that what you believe? Like, is that what you think? Is that what you eat? Like, what do you mean? Like, you have no sense of, and they talk themselves out of it. But that first 10 minutes is true. We know you start at 100 and then you just start ticking away at 98, 80, 75. And then it's like,
that's a great way to put it.
To Glenn's point,
you're right.
One second.
Oh, sorry.
To Glenn's point, what he was saying earlier, and to what I was saying to Jen earlier, as men, we have to understand Yeah, there are a number of things that you do have to put in place. You have to work on your frame. You have to work on your purpose and so on and so forth. But look, for the grace of God, man, don't do not underestimate the benefits of taking your fucking ass to the gym and getting a better wardrobe. You'd be surprised just what your life will transform
I had
into
that talk
if
today.
you
Yep.
just spent 6 or 7 months just on your wardrobe and on your body. You will emerge, you know what I mean, into a world you had no clue was, you know what I mean, in front of you. Now, within that time frame, yeah, you can work on your actual self also and your frame and so on or whatever. But this is not rocket science, guys. And a lot of these guys who are feeling sorry for themselves, who are incels and so on and so forth, trust me, all these guys need to do is drop down to like 10% body fat, get a fucking haircut, and put on a shirt, a clean fucking shirt. You know what I mean? And their dating life would change.
Let me co-sign what Don Levon said. He said exactly, Jen. If you don't know what to say to a woman, then don't say nothing. Less is more. Less is more. The less you
Less is way more.
I agree, Jen, because I'm from a certain generation where I remember my mother and her sisters talking about, and this used to be a common phrase in America, the strong, silent type. The strong, he had a job. He had type. On, yeah, the stoic type. My father says very few words. I've never seen him raise his voice. I've never seen him cry. But he keeps clean shoes, clean hands, clean clothes on when he's not working. And he says very few words. That has gone out. Now it's all about being able to spit game. And like Jen said, that spitting game will make you miss out on the pussy. See, because you're gonna say something.
I've got to speak.
You're gonna say something to mess it up.
You have a better chance having a good body and a good sense of humor than anything else. It is simple. A good body and a good sense of humor. I went to Magic Mike out here in Vegas.
Trust me, we all know you went to Magic Mike. We all seen the pictures.
All right, I went to Magic Mike, and the women go crazy. They don't know where these men work, if they have any money. They don't know their age. All they had to do was step on stage, and women went crazy. What does that tell you? There was no conversation. There was no, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Thank you.
How much do you make? Where do you work? Do you want to be a father? Those women did not care. They saw abs and ass and lost it. Completely lost their mind.
Do you know why? Do you know why, though, Jen? Do you know why?
You tell me, Jen.
Okay, because I will. I'll educate you.
Yeah.
There's two sides of hypergamy. There's the alpha fuck side, and that's what you saw on stage at Magic Mike. Those guys look like they're alpha as fuck. They look sexy. They look ripped. And you're like, yes, impregnate me. Okay? All right. But there's the beta buck side. When you ask women, what do you want in a guy? Women say, oh, he needs to be sweet. He needs to go like long walks on the park. He has to, be sensitive. I want him to touch with his emotional side. I want him to be emotionally intelligent.
So
there's a reason.
Let me give you some game from a woman, okay? Let me give you some game. Women want that. The problem with men is that they hear that and then they think that's all they have to be, and they say, fuck balance. You have to have balance. Yes, we want the long walk on the beach. Yes, we want the roses, but we also want to get choked, rip our panties off, be spontaneous during sex, have a good body. The problem is men hear flowers and chocolates and think that's all I gotta do.
Because that's all they say.
That is, they don't include the other half. I mean, Glenn and I were talking earlier today about how we both love Broadway, and I love Disney, and he loves the Muppets.
Hey, why you gotta be telling all my secrets?
Oh shit! Thank you, Huds. Thank you for that one. Thank you for that one, Huds.
Yes, I love the Muppets. The Muppet Christmas Carol, Muppet Treasure Island. I'm all about Rizzo the Rat.
Oh my freaking God!
Now imagine a man. Wait a minute. Let's pause right there. Pause right there. Now imagine a man that brings a woman home a little Muppet baby stuffed toy, or a man that says, hey, let's watch Little Mermaid, and then at nighttime the wine comes out and you choking up and ripping off her panties, she'll be eating out of your hand. You say jump and she'll say how high. That's the perfect man.
Bring
That
him
is
up.
the perfect man. And men don't know balance. Men have to learn.
Well, Jen, I will say
Muppet
something,
fetish.
Jen.
Muppet fetish.
Jen, I will say this though. Scientifically speaking, I hear what you're saying, and I agree. Scientifically speaking, though, I guess I'll just use the term beta male for right now. You know, nature ensures that men are, you know, their testosterone is toned down a bit, so they can, you know, can be better fathers, nurturers, and so on and so forth, and whatever, what have you. Actually, your testosterone actually spikes when you get divorced. Your testosterone climbs when a man.
Drop.
Where when
Drop
you're
married.
married, your testosterone levels drop. When you become a dad, your testosterone levels drop. This is one of the reasons why when men get married, they get a gut. They might feel unmotivated. They might, you know what I mean? And then the woman turns around and like, ew, this isn't the strong, strapping killer of a man. The man who went out there and slayed 5 wildebeests for me. You know what I mean? For lunch. This isn't the same man, and I want a divorce. You know what I mean? It's just like,
if the man stays in the fucking gym. I think it's
right,
different.
right.
Because
And this is the reason why you have to, as men, we have to.
Women are always going to be attracted to a man that's fit. You don't have to be Lee Haney. You don't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Be fucking fit.
Look,
and women want.
I got a question.
And women.
No. I need to hop in here. Let me ask you a question, Jen. Do you think it's most important that a man is physically attractive by being in the gym? Or do you think it's best for him to have the right mouthpiece for you to have a good time, for him to have game?
I'm going to go with body because, again, when a man walks in, we don't know his sense of humor, his talk, his game. If he looks good, we want him. It's innate. We want him. He looks strong. He looks like he can pick us up. He looks like he can protect us. It's innate. So that's one. I say that's one. People disagree. That is the first thing.
Lost.
That man that we already want, that man that I already want who has a body, he can talk himself out of the pussy. So that goes.
And here's the.
That goes to show that we're already willing if he looks good, but that man that even looks good can talk himself out of it. He can be a himbo, he can be an asshole, and then you talk yourself out of it. Be fit and attractive first, because we're gonna want you automatically. And then it's up to you.
But yeah,
and I'll jump in behind Jen. HUDs, women want men that other women want. Think about that. Just pause. Just pause for a moment and let that sink in. Just let that sink in. If other women don't want you physically, she is going to lose attractive because women too are competitive, and that's how we compete by being.
Sorry.
Damn.
You said it. You said it. You said it. That's it.
That's fire.
Listen,
women.
I've got to come in. I got to come in. Sorry to cut you, big man. I'll be quick. A friend of mine, I just go on Facebook all the time. A female friend of mine goes to me, T, let me write on your Facebook comments, and watch the women come in. I go, why is that? Because I'm pretty unfit and they'll compete. I go, okay, try it. So she's writing my comments now. Look back, 10 girls, hi Tony, hi Tony, hi Tony, hi Tony. It's a madness. And it's fact. So she's dead right. When a woman sees you with a woman that's also fit, then they become interested. So that's I already know this anyway. That's fact. Sorry, Glenn, you're gonna say something. Sorry about that, my brother.
Women want a guy that's capable of cheating but won't cheat. Meaning women like social proof. They want their girlfriends to be jealous of the guy that they're with.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And so do men. Men, we want
because that's how we compete
when we go out. We want
because that's how we compete. Yes,
it's in the game. It is in the game now. This is the real deal now.
Let me tell you something. I knew a dude who came to me one time before. He was like, "Yo, man, I'm not gonna lie, man." He was like, "I realized the chick that I was walking down the street with was ugly when ain't nobody was looking at her and me."
Yep. If you out with your lady and you don't catch motherfuckers looking out the side of their eye at her,
You know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah,
how it
you,
is.
you pretty much.
I'm gonna disagree with everybody on the panel for that point. I'm gonna disagree with everybody.
Oh, I disagree with that point too.
With what? That men don't want a woman that everybody looks at?
No.
No, I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah.
Had this talk today. Had this talk today. Go on,
Okay,
you
but
guys.
let
Sorry,
me give
carry
you my
on.
point of view. This is my, and maybe I'm alone again. I don't want a man that a bunch of women want. It's actually a turnoff for me.
Lies.
I don't
Whoa, hold on, Jen.
Lies.
You just
Lies.
Let her finish.
Cap. I call cap.
Yeah.
Finish. Let her
I
finish.
call cap, Jen.
Okay, you could call
I
cat.
call lies, man.
So, like, why would I lie? So this is. Let me explain it to you. I don't want a man that a lot of women want. It's a turn off for me.
So he's ugly then. So he's ugly.
Be
Sorry.
quiet.
Finish.
For God's sake, let me get through this. Right? Okay, so I just said that you go to Magic Mike, all those women want the guy that's fit. I never said I want that guy because those women want him. I said all the women want a man who's fit. Follow me, okay? I don't like a guy that a lot of women want. It doesn't turn me on. That's not how I compete. I'm too fucking egotistical. What's mine is fucking mine. But I say this. When a woman sees a man with an attractive woman, he becomes interesting to her. Because if that same man is with Precious, if that same man is with any of the women that I put up on the thumbnail,
Or Roseanne.
you don't care. Women don't give a fuck. Men don't care. Women don't care when a man is with an unattractive woman. But I have done it. I have dated guys that were not attractive, and when he walks in with me, he becomes interesting to everybody. All
He's
of a sudden,
validated. Yes.
you weren't checking for him. He was doofy. He was short. He was this, that, and the third. But when he walks in with me, now he looks interesting.
But Jen, you said
that is what women do.
No, hold on. This is cognitive dissonance 101 right here.
That's surprising.
Yep.
Cognitive dissonance. Here
You're
we go.
surprising her.
Yep.
How can he be attractive
Yep.
but not attractive to other people?
I never said
That's women for you, son.
Because that's how women compete.
Yeah, Jen. So by
but she's leaving.
by default, a lot of women are going to want the same man that you find attractive. Only by
exactly.
default.
They are.
Because that's how we compete, and
So
she's
you do
leaving
have
that
a man
part
that a lot
out.
of women are going to want.
No, Joanna. No, you can't put your life and your way on me. I don't compete. I don't compete. I walk in the baddest motherfucker in there. I don't compete with anybody. I don't care who's in there.
Yeah, it's not even about competing. It's not even about competing.
Compete for men. Men compete for me.
It's not even about it's not about competing. It's about you don't even have to take the competing out of it. If you walk in with somebody that's attractive, women are gonna want him by default.
Of course they are. I
Okay.
I don't like that. You guys are putting on it what you want.
No, what she's saying is
attractive man, right? If I walk in with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I know every woman in there is gonna want him, but that doesn't turn me on. Are you missing what I'm saying?
so she's saying that she's walking in with a square.
And I'm not dating The Rock because other women want him. I'm dating him because he's fuckable. Do you follow me? I'm not dating.
No, I will sit here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm saying the same thing.
Wait.
Like I wouldn't date a woman just because she's pretty. She just happens to be pretty and she's with me. So that's gonna make other people want her as well.
Let me finish. I think men think that way. That's what I think. I think men date women, right? They want to walk in with a woman that's hot because they know that all the men in the room are gonna want to fuck her. I don't date attractive men because I'm gonna walk in and feel good because all women want to fuck him.
I date my girl not because she is the most attractive girl. It's because she treats me well. Because she did, like, today is my birthday, and
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you very much. I woke up today and I came outside and I had streamers up in front of me right here. Happy birthday. I had champagne. I had White Claws. I had cannolis. I had chocolate covered pretzels. And I had an entire cheese and meat board. That I don't care if she's not the most attractive person. I'm not flaunting her for that. I am flaunting her because of how well she treats me. So with what you're saying, yeah, maybe some people do that, but people do that because they're shallow. I mean, do you want to bring around the most attractive man?
But here's the thing. I dated a guy. The proof is in the pudding. I dated a guy, athlete, had all the bells and whistles, professional athlete. I'm talking about fucking NFL. So he was the top, okay? Had the height, the body, the money, okay? I went to a couple of events with him. I didn't like that women were all over him, constantly trying to fuck him, it turns me off. I don't compete. I will remove myself and leave you to the fray and the wolves. Period.
So wait, no, hold on. Let's back up for a second.
I'm not gonna be in that group of women like, I'm the best one. He ain't going with nobody. I'm like, either it's about me or fuck off and go with them. I don't compete for men.
Well, let's back up for a second. So you want somebody with a ripped body, but like a completely deformed face?
No, I'm saying.
Oh no, hold on, Jen.
Wait a minute. What was
You
that
like the predator?
Thing? You have the predator.
And you
face,
said you are attracted to the predator. Let's don't no cap here. No cap.
Exactly.
No cap.
He's sexy, the predator.
And venom.
Thank you. Let's be real here. Do you want a butterface?
I've had a butterface. I've had a couple butterfaces.
No. Wait a minute. I will say this. Jen is saying what she's saying. That's her stance. But
that's my fucking stance.
But I can attest that there was one dude that she dated, and I was like, "Yo, homie, what the fuck was that?" You know what I mean? I had asked her, and she said, "You know, blah blah blah, whoop-de-whoop," and then I was like, "Let me guess. You basically made his stock go completely up, didn't you?" And she said, "Yes." You said before me, these chicks ain't even know this dude was alive, and I believed her. This was a funny looking motherfucker. This dude, like I sat there. That's why I asked her, like, "Yo, dog, like, really?"
And the reason why that was able to happen is because of what I said. Women want men that other women want, and if she was with the elephant man, women are gonna go take a second look at the elephant man, and they're gonna go, that women are going, because of the way women are made up to, that's how we compete. She will look at Jen. I'm not saying you're competing. I'm saying how the other women, the reason why they were attracted to that semi-attractive man is because, wow, if Jen is with him, it must be something with this man.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right, and I
because
agree with that, but
because women want other men that women. That's my point.
No, not all women, because if I walked in with him looking like Precious, they would not give a fuck. They'd look past both of us.
Well, yeah,
but you don't look like Precious. You don't look like Precious.
We're talking about outliers.
I just want to let
Generally speaking, I want to let everybody
know that next episode, Jen is going to have her elephant man boyfriend on this show.
Oh my goodness.
I got no boyfriend.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, sorry.
But if he's ripped, that's different.
Is he still around? Is he still available?
I'm not. Listen, Dahmer, thank you for the super chat, sir. Dahmer says, "No, I don't care about the men that want my girl. I just care about what I want."
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, like I don't know where like people saying guys want the girl that they could get. All right, like I really don't care if Huds thinks my girl's hot or not. I really don't give a shit, because you know what? I'm glad that he doesn't think that she's hot, because now I don't gotta worry about Huds. Guys are like, okay, guys don't want to deal with competition.
What?
So, yeah, guys don't want competition.
Depends. Depends
Can
on
I say something? Can I say something?
I thought men liked walking in with the eye candy. All the rich dudes.
Yeah, I mean, depends on the situation. That's a per basis.
situational. That is situational.
That's a per basis. That's a per basis. That's my stance on that. That's a per basis situation.
So wait, so
honestly,
you date ugly to be safe?
No, I don't date
Like
ugly.
a
What the
man?
hell is wrong with you? You know I got no fat chick, no ugly chick.
I mean, me personally, I'm not bringing an ugly chick around Glenn. I'd never hear the fucking end of it. Are you out of your mind? I'm not doing that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not bringing some ugly broad around him.
Listen, I don't think you guys know how crazy I am. Don Levon, thank you for the super chat once again, sir. He says she want her man to walk around with a bag on his face. You know what my ideal relationship is? You guys seen the movie Inception when it was just her and him in the entire world on the 10th level and nobody else existed on the planet? That's the perfect relationship for me. Me and him, nobody else on the planet.
Yeah, you just want to live on an island or kill everybody else off.
There you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, you know,
wait, hold on. Then why are we live streaming right now if we want everybody else to be dead?
Because we want them to die slowly.
Because we can't kill everybody on the planet. So we got to
hopefully that they do it themselves.
Legally.
I'm kidding. No, but here's the funny thing though. Girls ask their girlfriends, "Oh, do you think he's cute? Do you think he's cute?" Like guys don't ask their friends, "Hey, do you think she's cute?"
Because you guys know when
they ask him.
Guys will
they
tell
ask
their
if he
friends,
thinks
though.
she's hot.
Guys will
They
tell their
ask if he
friends like,
thinks
"Hey,
she's
man,
hot.
I got a bad one."
They tell them.
We will.
They
Yeah,
tell
we
them.
will.
So
Yeah,
there's
we
a
will.
difference.
We will.
That's
We will also say.
No, hold on.
We will also say. We will also say if she's a good 5 or 6 when she got a fat ass. We'll say that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
The whole point.
Guys
Let
make
me
a
speak on this.
statement.
Let me speak on this. The whole point is because we do that as kind of like a big dick contest with other guys.
Right.
Whereas women do it because they need the validation to make sure they're making the right choice.
Yeah, it's an
And
ego
it's still
thing.
the
It's an
same
ego
thing,
thing
don't you
with us.
agree? Huds, don't you agree that's still the same concept though?
At its core, essentially, but not exactly.
I think one is more superficial than the other.
No, I still think.
And which one is more superficial?
The men wanting to be with an attractive woman or have their friends think she's attractive.
They're doing a big dick contest. It's the same thing as like doing like a how much can you lift, bro? Versus
How much can you lift, bro?
Versus how superficial is it that you need approval from others to even see this guy?
Yeah, that's just like you said, you asking your girl, "Hey, girl, you think he look good?" Or what you think about him?
I don't ask that. I know when a man looks good without asking my friend. I know when somebody's fine.
Okay, well, Jen, you're the outlier.
Your girls give you validation.
The average woman goes to her girlfriend and be like, "Oh my God, do you see that guy over there?
Yes.
Do you think he's cute? Do you think he's cute?" That's the average woman. And what she's doing is she's seeking validation from her girlfriend to see whether or not this guy is worth her time.
Yes, Jen, you're the outlier.
Guys don't do that. Guys go like, "Man, I got this bad bitch. She's like a 10. That's a statement. That's a statement, not a question.
Well, I know when someone is attractive and I know when someone is unattractive, all on my own, with my own eyes, with my own peepers. I know when someone's like, I have a crush on Predator. I know what I'm getting. Don Levon said, a man admiring my girl and competing for my girl are two different things. Look, but don't touch. Don't you guys like when you walk in with a woman and the other dudes are like, "Yo, she's bad." Your uncles tell
That's what I said. That's what I said earlier.
Come on, look, let's just keep it 100. I mean, if you walk into a room, and depending on what room you walk in, if you're in a room full of important people and you got a bad chick on your arm, that can really make your night really go real great for you. A lot of people might want to talk to you, meet you, you know what I mean, so on and so forth or whatever. So having a bad chick on your arm, that can get you into a lot of places, man. You know what I mean? Let's just call it what it is. You know, you're gonna get into a lot of places as opposed to if you walk in with Precious. I mean, you might get into a 7-Eleven.
Stop using Precious. Y'all gotta start using Rosie O'Donnell or something. Use Roseanne. We gotta switch it up.
you know what I mean, or
I agree.
Yeah, say Rosie O'Donnell or something. We gotta start switching it up.
Leave Precious alone.
I'm not using that. Okay, we could use Lizzo anyway. You know.
No,
what I mean?
don't use Lizzo.
What I mean?
Use Roseanne.
Yeah.
Use Roseanne. Let's use Roseanne.
I'm not using a fat white woman. I'm sorry. I'm not using a fat white woman. That's like that's worse than walking in with a fat black woman. At least it's a black woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's far worse. Anyway, the point that I'm making is that walking into a room with an attractive woman, that is in some case, you know what I mean, that improves your social currency. I don't care what anyone tells you.
I've been used for that before by my male friends. Okay, my male friends have had events and they're like, yo, I need you to come throw on a gown because my boss is gonna be there or such and such. So that is fucking true. It is.
And Haran, it works the same way for women. If she walks in with a certain type of man,
I can imagine it puts her in a different place.
Do you mean like the Elephant Man?
Pardon?
Only Jen can walk in with the Elephant Man. Only Jen walks in with the Elephant Man and makes him look good. Okay, let's get that straight.
I would walk in with the Elephant Man.
Hey, Jen, check your phone. Check your phone.
What is this, Glenn? What is?
You're talking about complacency? You're talking about complacency? That was
a woman?
Yes. That was just sent to mine and HUD's chat group right now from the homie. And he's like, look what's out here.
I thought this was a man.
No, that's a chick, yo. That's her dating app profile picture. Hey, shout out to Mark. Daniel,
hey, if you guys need to have a dating app consulting, reach me at thehudsman.com or at thehudsman on Instagram. I can make sure you don't look like a complete fucking idiot like this.
Hey, Jen, just throw it up. You just put the picture up on the camera. Yo, this is what this chick's profile picture is right now.
What is? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Pull it back a little bit so everybody can see her name. Emily,
39. Emily, reach out to me. You need help.
I thought it was a man, like a costume.
That's a man who is identifying as a woman.
No, it's not. Trust me.
No, it's a woman identifying as a woman that likes men.
Wait. Ethically non-monogamous, queer woman. She's queer, Glenn.
That doesn't mean she's not a woman.
No, I'm saying she's queer, so maybe she's more in touch with her masculine side, is what I'm saying.
Means she's still a woman.
I know she's still a woman. I'm saying the reason why she looks masculine. I thought it was a man at first.
I wasn't talking about the masculine side. I was talking about the makeup.
Oh, well, maybe she's getting ready for Halloween.
Shit, she is Halloween.
Did anybody see Hocus Pocus 2 yet?
HUDs, we know that's going to be your movie. I'm sure you already got.
I wanted to watch it today for my birthday, and my girlfriend said no. Like, I want to watch it tomorrow, first day of Halloween or of October, and I was like, fine.
Glenn, when's your birthday, Glenn?
No, it was HUD's birthday.
No, when's your birthday, Glenn?
My birthday is what?
When it's December?
No, July. I'm July.
July. Oh, damn. I was gonna actually ask you if you wanted like a little Fozzie Bear for
I told you I want Rizzo the Rat. Give me Rizzo the Rat.
Stop the HUDs. Are you a Libra?
I am a Libra. I was born today, and I was actually born at 11:11 p.m. So make a wish.
He's so nice. Like, how's your girlfriend? What's going on? How long have you been with your girlfriend?
It's been over 2 years. We've moved in together. It's absolutely fantastic. And, Lord, I keep trying to have kids with this girl. But for some reason, she takes this pill every morning. And for some reason, the kids aren't popping out.
I'm sure 2 and 2 will come together pretty soon, bro. I'm sure you'll figure it out somehow. Yeah, I mean, he seemed like a real cool guy, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing with Glenn?
Actually, Precious, aka actually Precious is married. Her real name is
Roseanne.
I'm answering the chat. Relax.
Oh, my bad.
No, he is triggered. Slow
He's
down.
married. He is happily married. For the record.
And she lost 175 pounds.
Oh yeah, I think she got a white.
Lizzo
She got a
or
white dude, right?
She does. She got married to a
white
white
dude.
man.
Yeah.
And he's a millionaire.
She's happily married. So congrats to her. Happy for her.
So no. That means you can't have her, Haran.
I mean, I'll get over it, man. These things happen, man. Things happen, man.
Hold on. Where's Tristan? We'll just start talking about Oprah.
Oh no,
Oprah.
Tristan, you know Tristan
Oprah.
loves the big girl.
Oprah. You know that's gonna cue him to jump up here real quick.
No, he loves the big girls. He says if they got rolls, he got the butter.
Jesus Christ. What you said? What?
Yeah, Tristan loves the big girl. Loves the big girl. I ain't got no rolls for Tristan.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
But here's the question: Do we need to combat this fat thing, or do we need to accept it? My thing is neither. Okay, we don't need to combat it, and we don't need to accept it. Live in your lane, like what you like. If you don't like something, speak your mind on it. But people need to stop being so fucking like weak and not being able to take criticism. Jen says she doesn't like short guys. So Haran, I'm sorry, you're short. You're just not there. Like, okay, get over it. All right.
Hey. I agree with you, Glenn. I think it's okay to have an opinion on it, which everybody is going to. But at the end of the day, we should all just stay in our lane. Let people do whatever the hell they want to do. Whatever brings them happiness or whatever they find attractive, let them do them. And, of course, we're going to talk about it, but, I don't think it's nothing we can do about it.
My thing is like,
I don't want to do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. I don't want to do nothing about it. We're going to talk about it. I don't want to do nothing about it. And I've dated short guys, but they're just not, you know how you guys date a certain type of girl, but you wouldn't wife her. So I've dated short guys, but I wouldn't like husband him. I don't.
So Haran, there is a chance. Got it.
Oh,
I wouldn't like.
But here's the thing. The problem is that when these people are saying, why can't I find a man or why can't I find a woman? They don't want to hear the criticism of, guess what? You should probably get in shape. You should probably level up.
Right,
you should probably better yourself and make yourself more appealing to the opposite sex. They don't want to hear that part.
I want to speak on this, Glenn.
Me too. I want to speak after you.
And I want to speak on it too.
I want to speak on this.
I'm just making everybody want to speak tonight.
No, when we were talking earlier on appearance. So you don't need to get a professional haircut. You don't need to buy very expensive clothing. You can go ahead. Like, I shop mostly at Kohl's, and I look fucking great. I know, Glenn, we have not seen each other in person yet, but every single person that I've seen in person, like, they're like, yo, like, you look like fucking suave as hell. It's about good fitting clothing, getting your fashion right. Doesn't matter how much money you're spending. It's about the fucking fit. Mm-hmm. To the late and great Kevin Samuels.
Great.
It's all about the fit. The late and great.
Oh, you triggered Jen. Jen. Oh shit.
Great.
Here we go. It's all about the fit. So you can do, and you know what? I want to just share something with you guys. I know, like, I don't even have any gel in right now. I actually cut my hair myself.
Oh.
I look fine, right?
I see you, Johnny Bravo.
So it's very simple. It's very simple for you to make sure that you are on point when it comes to, base attractiveness, as long as you pay attention to it and as long as you learn the simple things. That's what I wanted to drop on that.
And so HUD, you kind of answered your own question to me earlier when we were talking about the somewhat problem for a third of the American men, being incels or not being attractive to women. You are, on par with what Glenn is saying. Well, with all the gentlemen, with all the, but like Glenn said, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that your people are drawn to who they are. But some people want to step out of their lane. Some fat girls want, like Lizzo, want a hottie, and she's not considered by the person she wants a hottie in return. She wants Captain America, and she's not, Naomi Campbell. She's not, you know what I'm saying? But if you stay within your own lane, because that's who you really are attracting, then you won't have an issue. And I dare say that although I have a lot of empathy for the third of the men who are having difficulty finding female companions, a lot of those gentlemen could find female companions, but they don't want them.
All right.
And the same thing with women.
Just say it as it is. Those guys are fucking losers.
They're not so much losers. It's just like Glenn said, they don't want it because there's more women on this earth than there is men. So just by numbers,
but barely. It's like 51 to 49.
Like, here's the thing I said, and I mentioned this.
No. And then you have to go down. If you have to cross racial barriers as well. There's more.
That's the world. What Hud's is quoting is the world population. It's a world population statistic that it's 51-49%. Men are at 49%. Women are at 51%.
I don't believe that. You got to look at it from a raw numbers perspective, because if that was the case, why do all these women have kids by the same man?
Proximity.
That's a completely different.
They want the same type of men.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
No.
When me and Hud's did a,
you gotta look at the gay men. You gotta look at men that are incarcerated. Like it's. But go ahead.
When me and
Hud's I disagree. I disagree with Don Levon. Everyone is not a 10. Majority of people on the planet are average, but there's certain. But there's funny.
Yeah, he's being sarcastic.
But like Glenn and Huds are saying, there's certain things, just little things that you can do to elevate yourself to another level. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's something that needs to be taught. Somehow this award for participation has gotten into the psyche of some of our men where they think, well, then she should just love me for me. Let me tell you, nobody just loves you for you.
Facts. And
I love you. I don't know who you are, but I fucking love you.
Thank you. I love you back.
Hudson and I did an episode on Passport Bros that Jen was supposed to hop on, but
you did?
Yes. We did like 2 weeks ago. When did we do that, Huds? Passport Bros.
Oh, that's right.
It was last week, yeah.
Last week. All right. And I said there's two types of Passport Bros. There's one I agree with and one I don't agree with. All right. And a lot of these guys, the 1/3 that are not getting laid are becoming these Passport Bros who are choosing to play life with cheat codes. It's like playing Madden on easy mode. And they rather go overseas to these third world countries and to get women to lay with them because of their American status. Okay? They're not choosing to level up. They're not choosing to better themselves. They're choosing them to exit the current market that they're in to go into a different market where they seem more valuable instead of increasing their value. And that's what men and women that are in these situations need to realize. The problem is you. It's not all the women. It's not all these women. It's the women that you attract. It's the women that you can't get. It's not them. It's you. Level yourself up.
But Glenn,
yourself up.
Glenn, I
said it for yourself, and then that will give you the different opportunity to attract different women of a different caliber or a different man at a different caliber than the ones that you are attracting now.
Glenn, I wholeheartedly believe with you on the bigger picture scale of things. But if your whole objective is to get some pussy, then and you're not getting it here, you're one of those 1 in 3 men. Wouldn't that be the smartest thing to do?
No, that would be the easiest thing to do, not the smartest.
Easiest, smarter. You're working harder. You're working smarter, not harder.
There's a difference. There's an easy way to do things, and then there's the right way to do things. The right way levels yourself up, makes you a better person, makes you more attractive, not going over somewhere else where they have lower standards, and then you just being attracted because you show up. There's a difference.
Let's look at this from
they don't
economic.
because they could just buy the ass, you know. Prostitution is legal in some states. They could just go and buy the ass.
Here's the issue. You have to wear a condom. And who likes to wear a condom?
A lot of people, all they can do is show up, though. Like, that's all a lot of people can do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But wait a minute. Let's look at
with
this
that being so, I'm just putting I like to put myself in other people's shoes. If I was in those shoes and I was like, man, fuck it, I'm not having no luck over here in the States, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to level up, and for whatever reason it's not working out. I got a little bit of bread about myself, so I know I could just go over here to Colombia or whatever. I can go over here to DR, and I know I can just go over here and get some pussy instantaneously. I mean, wouldn't you do that if you was in that situation?
What did they do to level up?
See, that's a sense. But what you're doing right there is a false sense. When guys do that, they give themselves a false sense of security and of status. They go over there, they think they're the big shit because they lead with their wallet. But then when these women clean them out, because these women are smart, okay?
Well, they do that here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but that's the problem.
Yeah,
Their
mindset,
that's the wrong mindset, is they're leading with their wallet instead of leading with who they are. That's the problem. That's the leveling up that they haven't got yet.
But come on, Glenn. That's the way of the world, though. People lead with their wallets. Women lead with their attraction. They lead with their body.
I don't lead with my wallet at all. I don't lead with my wallet at all.
I don't lead with mine either. But there's a mass majority of men that do.
And that's the problem, is what I'm saying. Guys need to stop leading with their wallet and lead with who they are.
But that's the oldest profession in the book. But when we die, when our children die, when our grandchildren die, that will still be around.
But that doesn't
this is a good point. This is a good point. To come back to the topic,
it doesn't make it right. A lot of things are not right, but it's just the way it is.
To come back to the topic of the show, I think this is really interesting when we think of, like, you know, androgynous, and you're thinking like, you know, male and female characteristics, and women like money. Men are they typically lead with brute force, and we're talking about complacency. What's all going on here? Instead of leading with your wallet, instead of paying for something like this, move forward in a way that you're able to get the life that you want without having to lead with some external type of thing. How about you actually be the man that you were put on this earth to be?
Exactly. Thank you for saying that. Because men, you do have a purpose. You do have a purpose, and it's not just to get women. See, you are creators. You know, majority of things that we have on the planet were created by men. That's what you are here to do. And see, then the women will flock to that because she wants resources, because we don't build shit. She wants to enjoy what you create. Create something. Start with yourself. Mold and build yourself. The women will follow.
The main issue I have with the passport situation is that that doesn't really make financial sense to me, because for all the money that you're actually spending going to these different places, you really could be spending this on yourself. You could really be investing in yourself, and I don't know, investing in an education. I mean, investing in a better look. Just investing in yourself. It just doesn't really make sense for to me, to take this money and jump around all these particular places, and you're just not really a better version of yourself. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just not a long-term investment. In reality, it's a lot of short-term thinking involved in being a passport bro, and that's just my whole perspective.
So let me say really quickly, super chat break. Thank you, Don Laval, with the super chat break. I'm tired, so I'm stuttering. Makes a great point. He says, if you are a broke fat fuck over here, you will be the same over there. They will not want you either. They already got broke motherfuckers over there that they don't want. Get your passport. So I will say this. I think the reason why the passport bros thing I think is ridiculous, because you're literally doing a whole lot of traveling to buy a prostitute 9 times out of 10, and you could get one of them here. So I don't get it. Maybe the prostitutes are
That's
nice,
what I said.
more hungry because
It's an economical situation.
But I'm like, to me, it's stupid. You're gonna get a passport, and that's the reason for the passport, not to travel the world, not to be more world, not to learn, to get cheap pussy. Like that's the
What's
goal.
up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
I mean, I think Oprah is a passport girl.
Whoa. I know you ain't talking about my queen like that. I know.
You get a sofa. You get a
queen.
sofa. You get a sofa.
Listen. Don't disrespect.
I just had to
the
say it
queen.
because I had to say hello to Tristan.
Oprah is a capitalist but teaches socialism. She's an oxymoron. But I love Oprah too. But she's a capitalist, but she's her whole structure is about, like he said, you get a sofa, you get a sofa. That's socialism. Everybody ain't gonna get a sofa if you don't work hard to go and buy this fucking sofa.
Good night, veganista.
See, I think there's 2 types of passport bros, and I've already talked about this before. But I think there's guys that have leveled up and they see the current dating pool out here or the boss bitch, archetype, and they're not attracted to that. And they may go overseas and they might, like I know John from MLD, he's in Japan. He has a whole business out in Japan. He loves Japan and he loves Japanese women. And he's like, why would I fucking date American women when they don't even fucking match the type of woman that I like? And he's a millionaire and he's doing his thing out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, there would be something wrong with it if John was like, oh, I'm fat, I'm ugly, and I'm California broke, but I could be living like a king being California broke over in Thailand. There's a difference. And that's why it's all economical for these other passport bros that are going over to Singapore or going to Brazil and getting prostitutes, because these prostitutes in the third world countries are cheaper than the girls over at the Bunny Ranch in Nevada.
So let me say this, because I hate when guys say this. It's not buying a prostitute, it's getting a wife. The majority of passport bros are not looking for nobody's fucking wife. They're looking for cheap ass from attractive women. And when you go to the DR and when you go to Colombia, the prostitutes out there happen to be more attractive and subservient, okay? They're nicer prostitutes, but they're still prostitutes. The majority of men that go to these countries in droves, and they've been doing this since the fucking 90s, okay? I have friends that are cops, COs, strippers, male strippers, who have been going to the DR since the 90s to get a GFE for a couple dollars. These women will stay with you the weekend. They will cook for you. They will act like your girlfriend for dirt cheap. So please cut the bullshit that these men are going out there looking for wives, because they are not husbands. They're not husband material, and they're not looking for wives. They're looking for cheap ass, and they're looking to come back and talk about all the cheap ass they got in the Dominican Republic like they've been doing since the 90s. Nice try, no cigar, sir.
Let's go violence. Let's go.
It's getting a wife. Get the fuck out of here.
Now there is some guys that do that, and I tell guys that do that, if you're gonna find a wife over there that has these traditional values, you know why they have those values is because the culture that they live in promotes those values. So if you find a wife out there, stay there.
You better stay there. Don't bring her back.
Don't bring her back, because she will get Americanized, and guess what? She gonna leave you.
It's like Eddie Murphy's joke. Like,
yeah,
you treat me like animal, Eddie. Once you
I
bring
won't
her
have.
back, it's over, because your true value, she's gonna see your true value is zero in your own country.
I gotta ask a question though.
Hypergamy is universal. You bring her back here, she's gonna be like, hold up, I'm with a Dusty. That guy looks better. That guy has more money. That's what happens if you bring her back here. So yes, stay your ass over there, because your true value is going to show up if you bring her back here.
Boom.
Speaking on hypergamy, make sure you tune in to Glenn and I's show coming up tomorrow, where we're going to be talking about hypergamy both ways, not just with women, but with men.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Oprah's available?
Hypergamy. We're going to be talking about hypergamy tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Thor's Dragon Ship.
I am. I'm going to be in a class.
I know you're going to be asleep. I know.
What?
Don't worry about it. 10 a.m. You can catch the replay. We'll be on for like 2 hours.
I'll catch the replay because my class is
What's
so
the name of it? Thor or what?
It's called Thor's Dragon Ship.
Okay, I'll tune in.
It will be actually it'll be streaming on my channel. It'll be streaming on HUD's channel. It'll be streaming all over the place.
Yeah, there are passport bros and there are passport pookies. The majority of them are pookie. These dudes are not flying out, and you hear them online all the time talking about the women that they get. It's a very nasty,
Bro, don't even get me started on this shit.
Describing of trips and what they do to these women and what these women are willing to do to them. It's really a disgusting drove of men who have $40 and want to live their best fucking life. Very rare are men like, let me go to Colombia to get me a wife.
So let me ask you a question. Since they're gonna go over there and get them a wife, right? Are they that worried about the body count? Because I mean, if you're getting with a woman who's willing to do all that for $40, willing to do all that for $40, I mean, she sounds like she's got a pretty healthy body count. Since that seems to be a huge topic.
That's the funny thing, that the men that complain about the women here will go and get a woman out there that has a body count, a single mother she's starving, don't have a job. That's the shit that they complain about women.
Everything that
they don't even know. And they don't even know. That's the thing. They don't even know what the body count of that woman is they're sleeping with. They're just.
You guys want me to tell you about body counts? You want me to tell you when body counts don't matter? And this is for all the guys out there like, oh, she has a high body count. You know why you're concerned about her body count? Because you're concerned that you're not her best. You are concerned that you're not the one that dicked her down the best. Okay. You know what? You know what a guy doesn't concern about her body count is when he knows he's her best.
Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bars.
Yo, everybody
Bars.
drop your mics.
Bars.
Okay, and the panel. That's it. Class is over. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. I'm taking that as a shirt.
Seriously, on that note, I gotta bounce, you guys. I have a class in the morning.
Night, Jen. Thank you.
Huds, thank you for joining us. You are a joy. You're so sweet with all the Disney. Joanna, as usual, lady, thank you for being here. Haran, Glenn, Tristan, World Kings, thank you so much, sir, for being here. And anybody else who was on the panel, I had to jump off. So tomorrow, guys, Glenn Lawrence and Huds will be talking about hypergamy for men and for women.
Is it 10 a.m. their time or our time?
10 a.m. Pacific Coast time. The best coast, the west coast, the left coast.
Good night, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
Good night.
All right. Good night, y'all. Be smooth.
All right, y'all be good, man.
All right.
This was fun. I appreciated it. Look at me and me.
Exactly.
It's me and me. It's too much me.
It's your channel. It's not enough for you, I'm saying.
I know, right? All the boxes is a new rule. Once I hit 5,000 subscribers, everybody's box is going to be me.
All I'm saying is, Haran, we're almost in December, and she almost made it halfway to 10K. If I have to put on a suit because of you, sir, I swear to God.
Haran, tell me what you told me, though.
I said, regardless of which, I'm going to put on a suit.
Bam.
Okay, but since that was the bet, right? Jen never received her end of the deal if she doesn't reach it, and I believe she should wear a bonnet, a straight bonnet on one of the lives. She has to wear a bonnet.
Tristan. I've done that before. I've worn a bonnet here.
With hair rollers. That's what I want. I have not seen that at all.
I have. You know what? I'm gonna send you the clip. I showed up with a bonnet before. I sure did.
You have to do it for a whole live if you don't reach 10K.
Listen, I'll do it for a whole live. I don't care. You know I don't care. I will sit here with a bonnet for a whole live. But Haran said he was going to put on a suit anyway.
Yes, and of course I'm a camera.
First of all, listen, I love Haran, right? But he sent me this one video, right? It was a great video, but Tristan has to do Tristan. And I randomly see a midget in the background, and it was the most hilarious thing.
It was a midget. I didn't even realize it was a midget in the background.
Exactly, he was like this. He was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, out of all things you see in the video. I was like, where does little
So
ass
look, when I
midget
hit
come from?
5,000, I want everybody's avatar to be me.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna agree to that. I don't know if I'm gonna
Come
agree to that.
on, it's 5,000.
I'm a bail out on that one.
You got it. No, let's at least for a screenshot. Do it for a screenshot. It's a celebration for the 5,000. Damn it! I'm out of here. Everybody's leaving the room. Please, whoever's left, hit that like and subscribe. Tell your friends about my panel. We had a good time.
As
and I'm
always.
All right. Good night, guys.
Take care. Good night, people.
All right. That was a long one. It was interesting. We didn't stay on topic all the way, but it's okay. That's what happens on the block. It goes every which way. I appreciate everyone that comes up here, even if I don't agree. Again, I would love to see more of my ladies up here. I love Juana coming up, but I need more of my ladies up here. Veganista got bored and left. Hopefully one day she'll come up on the panel and contribute to the conversation. You guys are always welcome on the panel. You already know. And have a dope weekend. I may come back tomorrow. I've been trying to do a sexy show for a long time where I answered 3 questions from people who write into On the Block with Jen at Gmail, sex questions or relationship questions, like really serious ones. I'll read them live on air and I will give my advice and have someone else come up and give their advice, right? Someone whose advice is differing from mine because, you know, I'm a little abrasive. All right, guys. So hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the super chats and your support. I'm out. Good night, guys.